Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So I'm 21. I'm about to be out of college this year. I have no debt. I paid it off as I went. But my girlfriend didn't, and she's going to have about $70,000. And every time I bring it up, she's just kind of like dismissive about it. And I don't really like want to pay off her debt in a way, you know what I mean? And I'm just not sure how to go about this in the future.
You should just break up with her, dude.
John.
I'm serious. I mean, because here's the thing. You're both going to bring crap into this relationship, both of you. And some of it you'll know right away, like $70,000 in debt. And if you're already thinking that's hers and like, ugh, she's bringing this into this and I don't want any part of it, like that's just a down the road, you're going to run into, oh, I want to raise kids like this, but this is how my dad did it. Ugh. Or I don't want to live in this neighborhood or this house. Like you're just like, if that's your first impulse is what about me, then you're not ready to get married yet. If she has $70,000,
yeah, I understand that.
Does that make sense? So if she has $70,000 of debt and you're like, dude, I don't care what mountain I have to move. You're going to be like, I want you to be my wife and I want to build a life with you. Like hell or high water, you and I are paying this stuff off together. Then awesome. You're off to the races. We would never tell you don't get married because of student loan debt. So when I say just break up with her, does that give you peace or does that make you mad?
A little bit of both. Like me and her have been together a while. It's not that I don't want to pay it off together. Like,
is it more because of her
I
attitude?
was more than happy. Yes, it's more of like she doesn't want to pay it. It seems like she wants me to pay it is kind of like what I'm getting at.
Okay, what's beneath that? Where else does that show up in your relationship?
Honestly, nowhere. Like she's a little unmotivated. Like she isn't really that ambitious. Like post out of college, she doesn't really want to do. She just kind of wants to do her thing, like live around the area and whatever. And I kind of been like, I did an internship like in another city and I've been like, exploring career opportunities. But she just kind of seems like stuck where she is. And I just like her a lot and I want to be with her, but it's just like such a weird thing.
I think y'all should explore that conversation.
Yeah. It's just like, I try to go further, but she's just like not interested in like continuing that conversation. You know what I mean?
Beyond the money though, Dave, like, hey, this is kind of what I value in life. This is what gives me energy. This is how I'm wired and what I'm excited about and trying new things and opportunities. And it feels like, you're more just, I don't know if that kind of life long-term is something that you want to, be a part of. So I think it's more of that conversation because what that leads to is her motivation around anything in life, right? Money, career,
kids,
yeah,
cleanliness. How does the house look? Where do we live? And here's what here's the, like, if you ask me what my big fear for you all right now is, and I'm not judging you for this, I'm just calling it out. There's already a piece of you that feels like, well, I'm doing this and you're not doing that. Or to put it in nerd terms, you're already in the scorekeeping world.
Yeah, I can understand that. I just like, when I look at like both of our situations, like I think of everything I've done to get to where I am now. I've worked so hard to be debt free right now. And she just kind of like took the shortcut and it feels like, and I don't know, it just feels weird for me.
But here's the question. You're asking her to go back in time and sign up for values that you had before y'all started dating, and that's not fair. I hear that about sex. I hear that about money. I hear that about debt, about, well, I did all of this stuff, and we just met, and now we're doing this, and I don't feel like they ... Dude, they didn't sign up for that set of values. The question is, will she agree to live a debt-free life moving forward with you? Because you say, that's the way I feel like our family will be the most safe moving into the 21st century. And if she says, I don't care, now y'all have a values issue, and it's less about, do y'all have the same beliefs? Me and my wife have way different beliefs on all kind of stuff. But one of our core values is if one of us raises a flag and says, this is a huge deal to me, the other person says, well, I don't give a crap, I'm in. Yeah. And so if you're honest and say, this really is important to me, that we commit before we get married, I never want this family to be owned by a bank, by a car dealership, by whatever. And she's like, oh, I'm going to have a Tahoe. Then just know that y'all are going to have problems. Like insurmountable problems because they're value problems.
Yeah, definitely.
Does that make sense? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, man. I feel like I just ruined your afternoon.
Yeah, that's all good. I understand, man.
Yes.
But I want you to also be very careful because you're not better than her. You just took a different.
I'm not saying that.
I know. But that frustration builds up, and that's how it comes out.
Yeah.
Is I've done all this, and you haven't done anything,
yeah.
right? And so it's kind of like, okay, can we agree on values? But almost always those values conversations, brothers, start with you sitting down saying, I'm scared about X, Y, and Z. It's important to me that our family never be owned by somebody. Are you in on that? That means we're going to have to sacrifice here. We're going to have to work really hard for 2 years after we get married to pay off your debts. And that means you're going to have to get a full-time job, all those kind of things. But it starts with you saying what you really feel. What do you think, Rachel?
Yeah. No, that's what I was going to say. I mean, this is like kind of a classic example. What we say on the show, a lot of people call in about a money issue. You know, she has student loan debt. I don't know if I want to marry her. And it's not as much about the student loan debt. It's more about the values around the relationship. And because we get people that call here all the time, like, yeah, my wife has, $80,000 in student loan debt. I brought some credit card debt in and we're working to pay it off together. I mean, like it's a team effort there. And as you get into marriage, the less of a team you are and see each other as one and you're on each other's side, both of you, right? She's jumping into your boat, you're jumping into her. I mean, it's just this idea of like, you guys value the same thing together. It's not that life is necessarily easier, but there is a level of smoothness with that. I'm like, you're not running up against barriers constantly because of what you're desiring versus what she's desiring.
Yeah, the world will give you enough resistance.
Yes.
You can't be fighting your partner while you're also trying to take on the world. It has to be y'all two versus the world.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Otherwise, it just gets sideways really quick.
Yep. So, and it sounds like you guys have been dating a while, Dave, is what you said. And you guys are still young. And so maybe you started dating at 16 and you're a different person at 16 than 21. I mean,
it's heartbreaking, but it is.
Reality.
Rachel, like, man, on my show, on the other show that I'm a part of, I get this all the time. I chose to not drink in high school and college, and this person did. And so now, right?
Yeah,
and I always want people to go back and say, you can't judge somebody on values they didn't have before you met them.
right.
The question is, can we unite right now?
Yes.
And if you can't get over that, then you're bringing baggage to the relationship.
Right. And I think it's always a balance in marriage too, and in relationships is that, we always say opposites attract, right? It's like the old saying. And it is true. You're both going to have different levels of passion about different things. So it's not about becoming this like one individual person when you get married. You still are two individual people.
But you're in the same boat.
But that's it. Like it's like, but we're still moving in the exact same direction, right? Winston's still going to have 18 Excel sheets with stuff, out till we're 65, and I'm not going to know how to work them. Like that will always be the case, but we are still working towards the same goals. And so the way we go about those things is different, and our interests are different in life. But it doesn't conflict with the values of our home and how our family unit is being driven. And that's where it gets sticky. And if that's a red flag early, Dave, I mean,
yeah, it's something
to at least talk about. And and I'll give you guys this, not to like, I don't want to belittle you because you're young, but I'm like, y'all are still figuring this out. She's still figuring this out,
Yeah.
So have that conversation with her. But I would not break up with her because of the student loan debt. I would very much possibly break up if you guys cannot get to a set of values. And I would not take a step into engagement until those are consistent.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
My question is, how do I get my husband to honor the financial commitment that we made together as newlyweds when we went through SPU at our church? We've been married for 10 years now, and even after committing to do all of everything that goes into the class of FTU, I have not been able to get him to combine finances with me or honor any of the commitments that we made together and all of that.
Did you make it 10 years ago when you guys went through FPU? Was it 10 years ago?
Yes.
Okay. And has it been an ongoing discussion for a decade, or are you like deciding more recently, okay, I want to get back and try to figure this out?
It has been an ongoing issue, and I'm a stay-at-home mom. We also have I should have led with this, but we have a 25-year age difference, and I'm a stay-at-home mom, and he's in sales. And we did make that decision together for me to stay home with the kids. But really, I'm not unable to work or anything. He has just every time I've come to him and said, if we need me to go back to work or anything like that, I'm fine with doing that. And he's always telling me, no, if anything, I would rather you be able to go back to nursing school because I did that prior to us getting married. And, but he never wants me to work or anything. But it's like, I can never get him to be on the same page with me with finances.
Oh boy.
Okay. So tell me tactically, because you're not working right now.
No.
Are you guys sharing like a checking account? Like, does he have his income coming in and you have access to everything? When you say we're not sharing, what is that? How does that look tactically?
Okay, so we have a joint checking account, but we also have he has a savings account that his check is direct deposit in that I do not have access to, so I do not see what's coming in. And then he just transfers over money into the checking account to pay bills or whatever. And I know I've been listening recently and I'm hearing a lot of things like you guys talk about if you're Venmoing each other and stuff, and he's doing that. He's cash apping me for just whatever, going to the store.
And what's his rebuttal when you say, hey, I want to be on everything. I'm your wife and I want to be one in this. And so I want my name on everything because I have as equal partnership to this money as you do. And just because I'm staying at home doesn't mean, we definitely believe that stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home parents, they carry the same value as if you're going out to the workplace and making money. What does he say?
He
Meet Every Dollar Budgeters Christy and Steve. Their life is chaotic, but their money is simple because they budget with Every Dollar.
Budgeting with the spreadsheet took a ton of time.
But now with Every Dollar, I can do a budget in 5 minutes.
And tracking purchases is just as simple.
It's so freeing to know exactly where your money is going.
It just takes that stress out of the day-to-day life.
You got this, Hannigan family. Every Dollar. Create your free account today.
I feel like it kind of varies. Sometimes he'll agree and say yes, we need to do that. And then it just never gets done. Or he knows that this call is going on. And so we were talking last night and I said, so if you were to tell me one reason, just give me the reason. He's he feels like it's because of his past marriages. He's had 2 prior marriages that I guess things just did not end well financially with the divorces and stuff like that. And I'm I understand that to a degree, but after 10 years of marriage and do you know what I mean? That only goes so far as an excuse to me.
Yeah, you're right. I think that you're right. If you guys have been together 10 years, there's just part of this that feels really controlling because he's the one that gets the control, right? Mm-hmm. And for you being the stay-at-home mom who's not earning an income outside of the house, then now you're the one who's kind of at his beck and call. Well, I hope he transfers money into the account, and I hope he Venmos me, and I hope he does this, and I hope. And that I just there's no balance in that relationship.
You don't have autonomy,
Everything
to
is,
make decisions with the household because it has to be run through him.
And now you're not 2 adults making decisions together. You're having to go to him and saying, sir, may I have some money and may I have this and can I have that? And that's not.
Yeah, that dynamic doesn't work in a marriage. So I think that's it. I think it's having equal say, equal opinion. You know what I mean? We are a team. It's not one is higher than the other. And sadly, what money does is money does give power to one that has the ability. So when Jade uses that word control, that is what it feels like. And so for him to relinquish control and to give you access, being his wife for 10 years, is not just from a logistics standpoint. It's not that. It's so much deeper than that to know we are fully committed in this together.
Yeah.
And that's the piece you're not getting. And so, my red flags go up for you, just as an individual. Because, what if something does go south? You're the one that gets screwed, Nicole.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you're well.
What about some sort of, if he says this is the reason, it's my past relationships, has there been any counseling to work that out with him and then maybe with you present as well? Or if that's the big reason, what are we doing to combat it? It would be my question.
Yeah, no, we haven't actually done counseling. We've talked about it, but it's always kind of, again, just a financial thing. Well, I don't know that we could afford to do that. I don't personally think that, I mean, we're active in church and everything, so I don't
Yeah,
think
but
that,
that's
our
not the
pastors,
same thing.
No, I mean, I don't know that, our pastors would charge us to do some sort of counseling. Yeah, because he'll use that as an excuse of, he's willing to go, but he doesn't know that we could afford it or this and that.
How much does he make a year? Do you even know that?
I would assume it's close to around 100,000.
So you don't know exactly. What would happen if you asked him, hey, how much do you make a year?
Log into that savings account, and I want to look at it with you. Would he do that?
Right. I think he would do that, but I did ask him last night because like I said, he knew about the call, and I was like, I don't want to look like an idiot,
Sure.
So at least give me that, and so he did, and it was about 100,000, and I think he would show it to me if I asked. But
what if you said, can I have the logins so that I can log in whenever I want, and can I have access to your account just in case something happens and you forget to transfer it? Can I have access? What would he say to that?
We've had that discussion before, and it's almost like an all day thing. We'll take a day and we'll do all of that stuff. Putting names on bank accounts and getting logins and figuring out, because I've said to him, with the age difference, something else that concerns me is tomorrow isn't promised.
Right.
And if something happens, how am I even going to know where to begin? And so I would love to know, how do I pay this bill? Where do I get, how much is this?
Nicole, I'm gonna be real with you, 1-to-1. If you were my best buddy and we went out to eat and you were telling me this, I would be like, oh, no. That's what I would say to my friend. I'd be like, this, no.
Right.
This is not good. Because my thing is, it's open. You should at the very least, I'm like, if you can't give me the password,
yep,
there's a problem.
Yeah.
Or if you have to log in for me, that's a problem, my girl. And that I'm concerned about that. I don't like that one bit.
Yep. Yeah. So there's a lot of red flags, and it's the pushing off, the procrastination, and the fact that I get as much access to this because I bring as much value to this. This is our home and our household. And going forward, I wouldn't go to bed tonight until you have all that information.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.
Today's question comes from Michelle in Kentucky. While John checks his email, I'll take care of you kind folks.
Here you go. I'm working on my master's in public administration with a 3.9 GPA. I value what I accomplished and would like to maintain this GPA through my remaining courses. My career path is teaching at a college level after so maintaining my academic performance is crucial. My husband doesn't view the importance of GPA the way I do, and he wants me to get a part-time job. If I go to school full-time without working, I can finish the degree in about 8 months. If I work part-time while finishing the degree, it will take 14 months. Imagining my GPA going down while working and going to school at the same time is beyond horrific to me. My husband says my future employer will also look at my other qualifications so I can afford to go down a bit in the GPA scale. He believes my master's degree is just another piece of paper. How can I convince my husband that my chosen career field takes academic performances seriously?
Ouch. Wow, John. A lot of emotion dripping off of those words.
This is
First of all, before you dive into this, because this is clearly a relationship question,
yes.
but can we talk about the fact that there's an assumption here, and I'm not taking sides here, but there's an assumption that the GPA has to go down.
Well, yes. I mean, so the GPA is the proxy here. So just for anyone, you want your professor to have made good grades if they're going to be a professor, right?
Absolutely.
I want the pilot of my plane to have not wrecked planes, right?
Yeah.
To not have crashed.
Yeah.
So yes, if you want to be a professor someday, GPA matters. And the GPA has nothing to do with what's going on here. You've got a husband that you don't believe values what you want to do professionally, and you don't value his concerns. He wants you to contribute financially, and you want to study full time. So the career kin, the GPA, the part-time, those are all proxies to a couple who is on two different pages. And this is one of those things that you got to hold the presses, and y'all got to sit down and talk about where our relationship is.
So we got two fears here, John. Tell me if I'm wrong. We've got she's afraid of the GPA going down if she works part-time.
Yep.
He's afraid if she goes full-time school that their budget's going to be too tight or that life is going to suck unimaginably. They get two fears competing.
Those are the two proxy fears. The two real fears are either my wife's going to be smarter than me. My wife's I don't want to lose her to graduate school. I miss the old fun, crazy us, and now she's studying all the time. That's the fear. Her fear is I don't want my GPA to go down. I worked full-time through all my graduate school, and I got a 4.0 in graduate school. Not undergrad, but in grad school. So that's not a true statement here. What is a true statement is your husband doesn't respect what you're doing. You haven't told your husband, this is why this is important to me, this is what I want to do. Or maybe you have, and he's blowing you off. And so how can I convince my husband that? I'll just stop the answer at that. You can't. You can't convince somebody of something else. In fact, we're in a world now where if you put data on the table, it just further entrenches somebody in their other position, no matter what.
Yeah. If you say on Twitter that the sun is hot, you'll have 4 people reply instantly and go, well, that's technically not true.
Right. And then you'd say, well, here it's 118 degrees in my town right now. And they'd go, yeah, see, that's the problem. It doesn't matter what you put on the table.
I agree.
So all I'd say is this isn't a conversation about data and facts. This is a conversation about relationship.
Yeah.
And this is you saying not, how can I convince you? But let me tell you what I'm experiencing right now. I'm experiencing a tension between what I want to do and my husband not respecting what I want to do.
Yeah.
And the path it's going to take me to get there.
Sit down,
Be
steak
vulnerable,
dinner,
have a hard conversation.
and just talk about your fears and your dreams, and let's match them up.
Yep.
Because this is not that hard to solve.
No.
But appreciate the question. It's real
Well, it
stuff.
is hard to solve if one of you is an idiot. And that happens a lot. If one of you is a bonehead or like,
well, of course. Everything's hard to solve if you're an idiot.
That's true.
John, thank you for the salient advice and wisdom.
I'll be here
there.
all week.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
My question and situation is we're in baby step 2, and we have paid off $45,000 in 2 years from $71,000.
Wow.
So we're almost there. And my husband has a spending problem with part of addiction. So I'm at this point of considering just separating our finances to get through this, but I know I don't want to separate finances, and we've been doing so well. So
did
I
something
just wanna know your
happen
guys' opinion.
where he derailed?
No, it's basically just he has a limit of $500 a month, and he keeps spending over. 1 month out of the year he'll get right on there, but most of the time it's way over.
How is he
So I'm
spending
just
over?
trying to-
How is he doing it?
So we've tried so many different ways, from cash to debit card to even a credit card from like before, but now we don't. But he's been spending, and it's just on his addiction. So he just wants more money. So he keeps asking me every week for money. And I'm like, no, we got to stay on budget. And so it's just kind of that up and downhill as we go.
So even the $500 that you're giving him, he's spending on the addiction, whether it's cash, whether it's a debit card.
And what's the nature of his addiction?
So he likes to drink beer, and he smokes cigarettes as well.
Has he gone through any, rehab or counseling for that?
Currently, we are going to marriage counseling right now. We are still talking about trying to get him to quit smoking, and right now it's just kind of like that steady flow of like he wants to, but it's not quite getting there yet.
Is he in AA?
Not currently, no.
Yeah.
Is he willing to?
I would hope so, but every time we try to talk about it, he doesn't really want to say much about it. He doesn't really communicate that well with me, especially on those topics.
I got to tell you, I would keep the money completely separate, and I wouldn't allow that person to have that kind of access to the money because they're dealing with something that is a health struggle for them. It's a mental struggle for them, and they're not in a place where they can handle money. $500 is a lot of money. And especially if it's just like, here's $500, there's no good that can come of that. Now, I do think that if you're in charge of the money, what a great thing to do would be, hey, let's sit down together. Here's what we make. Here's what we have. Here's what I'm doing with the money. So he's got full transparency. He can see everything that's happening. But if you're handing a person who's addicted to alcohol $500 a month, they're going to spend it on alcohol. And that's the nature of the disease he's working through right now.
Yeah, so when I am full control of the money and he's okay with that, I do, we have conversations at least 3 times a month about it. I keep talking to him about it. So it's just trying to stay on that budget of making sure that it's there, because it used to be way more. So right now we're just trying to make sure that we don't go over budget. So I think that might be just the problem right now instead of like the addiction problem. I know that's still a big problem.
Well, you said you opened with, hey, I gave him $500 and he's spending over it. And what he's spending over is on beer. So my question is, when you give him $500, what's the intent of that money? What are you thinking he's going to spend it on?
Yeah, so I kind of did, I love finances. So I've gone through like the money aspect. So smokes of how many per week, beer as well, and then there's that extra like $10 to $15 of snacks from 7-Eleven or something like that. So I kind of even it out through there each week, and so I give it to him each week, and it's been going okay. It's just by the time it's about Friday or Thursday, he asks for more, and I'm like, no, and our therapist has said don't give into that, and sometimes it's just really hard to not to.
So he's got a problem with alcohol, and yet it's still okay to fund him going to 7-Eleven to get alcohol as long as he stays in budget?
Well, and so...
That doesn't feel right.
I really hate it. I know, I hate it. And
I think you've been putting up with this for too long.
But you're doing...
Yeah, I don't want to cut him off completely.
Why not? Why not?
Because that would
He's hurting himself.
Horrible.
No,
he
you're
needs
helping.
to agree to go to AA tomorrow.
Okay.
And you need to cut off all ties. You need to make sure his credit is frozen, give him no access to further money until he shows that he can be trustworthy. Because there's a prerequisite to combining finances, and that's communication, trust, unity, and alignment. And he doesn't have those right now. He can't have those because he's going through an addiction. And so he needs to deal with that. And right now it's going to be you hustling to try to pay off this debt while he deals with his addiction. Because right now he's dragging this whole thing down until he deals with it.
I can agree that it's an addiction, so it's more like of a habit to him.
But you know that it is. And here's the thing, I think this is so true. When something has got a hold on you, when the people who love you most are saying, this is making me uncomfortable, or this is really causing a problem in our relationship, and they can't stop. That's when, even if it's just a couple of drinks, if you say, hey, this is important to me and it's making me uncomfortable, it's making me feel unsafe, it's making our finances in disarray. Even if it's 2 drinks a night, if a person is still struggling to get control over that, there is a problem there. I'm not saying they're like an all, I'm not that person that can say that. But wouldn't you agree if you can't just say, okay, yeah, I can stop that behavior, or I can get a hold of that? That denotes that there is some sort of an issue there, a control issue that they're struggling with. And so if you see it, you've got the advantage of saying, I see that he doesn't see it, but I see it, and the counselor sees it. I cannot keep playing into that and keep feeding into that by giving him large sums of money. Like $500 a month is a lot of money, no matter how you slice it out.
Is he working full time?
Yes, he works full time. I work full time. I also have 2 jobs as well.
Do you guys have kids?
Yes, we have 2 toddlers.
Oh my goodness. Have you sat down with him real seriously and went, listen, I care about this family. I don't want to see my kids lose their dad to this addiction. Are you willing to do what it takes for our family?
Yes.
And he says, yes, ma'am.
He kind of just agrees with me. That's where it gets tense, is he doesn't really know how to communicate with me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is really tough until he gets into AA or somewhere where he can start walking through that rehabilitation. It's going to be tough. And for you've got to be able to just step in and say, okay, these are the things that I can control. These are the parts of the equation where I can keep us safe, because you're the adult now. You're the functioning adult in this relationship. So it's up to you to keep your family safe, your kids safe, your finances safe, keep the safety in the home. And you have an opportunity to do that. And I, just want to validate that you should not feel bad for enforcing those boundaries, because it's keeping everything safe. If you let him have control of that money, it's going to put you guys in a financially unsafe situation. So that's our take on it. It's really
sorry
tough.
you're going through that.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.
Let's go to Ella in Los Angeles, California. What's up, Ella?
Hi there.
How we doing?
Not too good, to be 100% honest.
Oh, thank you so much for being honest. What's up?
So my husband and I have been married for 4 years, and he has a son from a previous marriage, and it's a really bad, it was a bad divorce. My stepson's almost 10, and they're still in a custody battle, and I found out that my husband, well, we lived out of state, and we moved 3 years ago to be closer to his son, and that was a horrible decision because we don't have any family, but my husband has racked up about $200,000 in debt to his attorney.
Oh my!
And he's on a payment plan of $12,000 a month.
Oh,
And this was all a surprise. I had no idea. I knew something was up, so I went into his email, which I shouldn't have done, and I saw the bill, and I felt like I was going to be sick. And I told him this morning I wanted a divorce. I mean, we've just been fighting all the time over this for the past 3 years. Well, he's been fighting for custody, and he told me that he's not going to stop until he gets full custody. And I had no idea he was filing for full custody, and I don't want full custody of his son because I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I would have to be the one to deal with him. And he has some developmental issues. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what they are, but he has a lot of behavioral problems, and I can't take that on, and I don't know what to do. I just feel like crying almost.
Yeah, yes, that's the appropriate response. You're in the middle of a hurricane right now. It's a lot. Crying is a smart, good, healthy thing to do right now. You've got a lot that you just put out there. What can we help you with today?
Well, I'm almost to the point where I want to just, it's really hard to do the debt snowball when he keeps, this attorney's like $600 an hour. It's some high-profile attorney in like Santa Monica. I don't know how we would do the debt snowball when he keeps adding more money, and I also don't want to pay for this because I feel like as a spouse he should have come to me and said, hey, I'm thinking about getting full custody. What do you think?
Listen. We call it financial infidelity here. We call it betrayal everywhere. We call it dishonesty. We call it lying. Whatever word you want to call it. But your guts all over your kitchen floor, that feeling is correct. Part of you was stolen. Part of your relationship was stolen from you. And if I'm him, I don't get the betrayal part. I don't get the dishonesty part. I get I'll go to the ends of the earth for my son. I get that. But that's a conversation you have with your wife, right? Especially to the tune of $200,000. And it's illogical. You can't pay that. And so your feelings are justified and good. What I don't want you doing in the midst of this pain is lobbing grenades back. That doesn't help anybody. I'd love for you to get with some people in your life that you can circle up with and can help you walk through this piece by piece, because there's lots of pieces. This isn't the moment for baby steps. This is the moment for your marriages.
You basically told him this morning you want a divorce, and I understand why you would say that. There's no judgment here, but did you mean it, or did you just throw that out there?
Well, honestly, these past 3 years I've probably threatened divorce. Honestly, it's like every other week I'm threatening divorce.
So Ella, let's stop that. Let's stop that. Yeah. Okay? Let's don't threaten divorce anymore. Either I've reached the end of what I'm going to tolerate when it comes to the deception and getting dragged through the mud and you living a dual life and your dishonesty, all that. I'm done with that. Or I'm all in on this, but we have to be all in on this together. Like, you got one or two options. Threatening divorce. Yeah. It's a weak, childish play. Don't do that. Yeah. Don't weaponize relationships and make that. Say I'm in or I'm out. And then once you say I'm out, then it becomes a business transaction. And then we're going to go down that road together.
Well, Ella, John's right. We certainly can help anybody get out of debt, but you guys aren't even. We got to reconcile some huge issues here. And one is, he's not going to stop fighting for his son. At least that's his position up to this point.
Right.
So we've got to get clear on that, because you're going, I don't want to parent this kid at the house. Forget the money piece.
Yeah.
The money piece is exorbitant, and it's probably going to keep growing. So John's absolutely right. This is a relationship call right now, because then we decide, what do we do with the money? Yeah. I'm just curious, how much money does he make?
Well, he's in the Army Reserves, and he's a real estate agent. So these last 2 years has been really, really good money. But he's only sold one house this month because of everything going up. So last year he made almost $400,000, and we have nothing to show for that.
Right. Are you currently paying the $12,000 in the legal fees? Is he paying on that, or is that just racking up?
He's paying with a credit card. So I think it's just racking up.
Oh,
we have separate finances, so I don't know. And I'm a stay-at-home mom, so he doesn't tell me financially. I have no idea.
Hey, Ella,
he doesn't let me know anything.
Ella, are you safe?
Like he's not. I'm sorry.
Ella, are you safe?
He's not physically abusive, but it's like he doesn't. We have an age gap, and it's like he treats me like I'm his child, and all my family wants me to leave him, but I don't want to do that to my kids because I promised myself I wouldn't let my kids go through my childhood. But I'm 24 and he's 49, or almost 49.
Okay. So I am never, ever going to tell – and if somebody's in the midst of unsafe abuse, I'm going to tell somebody to get out, okay? I'm not going to tell you to pull the trigger here. I don't know necessarily that I agree. I think that there's harder things going on in your home than you're saying out loud. Is that fair?
Yes, that is.
Okay. I want you to call somebody today. And if you've got family members who say, we love you and we're seeing something that you're not seeing, what you're hanging on to is a picture of a fantasy that you created because you don't want your kids to experience what you did, which is beautiful and great and good. I'm glad you did that. The reality is your picture has changed. Full stop. And now the question is, are you going to hang on to that old picture and drown and bring them with you, or are you going to create something new?
Yeah.
ASAP. And most of us, when we're drowning, we cannot get out by ourselves. We need other people. And you've got people around you saying, hey, we're going to help, we're going to help, we're going to help. Please lean on them.
Yeah,
okay?
I agree. And I would just say, Ella, you cannot fix this marriage on your own.
Absolutely not.
Your husband you can't put that glass back together on your own. I think it's not a threat, but I think we got to see if he wants this marriage.
I can tell you right now, he doesn't. Right? He wants a daughter, and that's not you.
Yeah.
It's time for you to reach out to your family, and y'all start making a game plan of what comes next. And if you are being hurt, get out. You're worth more.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
All right, Elena is in San Diego. Elena, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, George. Hi, John. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. How can we help?
Okay. Well, thanks for having me. I started paying off debt. My husband and we started Dave Ramsey. We're on baby step 2 about a year ago. And we're posed with this question, if we should sell our house to pay off the rest of our debt or most of it. So some history and historical information here. My mom has a rental property, and she lives with us. Her tenants are going to be leaving in the next 3 to 4 months, and she said, well, why don't we move to my house, and you guys can pay less. You just cover the mortgage, and it's significantly less, and then you can either rent your house or sell it. And so my husband wants to sell the house because he's done with my gazelle intensity, and I'm wondering if we should just rent it or if we should just sell it and get on the other side of his debt.
A lot of layers to this financial tiramisu. Let's break this down.
layers.
No, it's good. It's good. So there's a relational component because that piece, you just dropped a little bomb right there of my husband is done with my gazelle intensity. And the other piece of this is it sounds like it's about to get real messy, moving into mom's, but we don't actually own it. We're just paying her the mortgage amount. We get to keep ours, and now we're landlords, but we still have the debt. And so this, I don't know that it's just on paper, this is looking like a rose. I would walk carefully either way. But how much debt do you guys have?
So we've paid about $140. We still have about $340.
Is that non-mortgage debt?
That's student loans.
$340 in student loans?
Good God, who's the surgeon?
Anesthesiologist? Give me good news.
You're an attorney? But still,
Yep,
did you go to private school?
I did Dave Ramsey, so I sat on interest with these low payments.
So that ballooned. It's probably more than you took out.
Oh, over $100,000 more in interest.
Is this why your husband's done with this program?
So we've gotten into this, and it's been a good year. But I mean, I can just keep going. But he's ready to be done with that.
What's your household income?
So our household income is about $190,000-$200,000.
Is that with both of you working?
That's with both of us.
Okay. So what are you on track to pay off your debt by right now?
Shooting for 3 years.
Did you have a big year just because you had a couple of great cases, or is this typical?
No, I sold everything.
You sold your practice?
No, so I'm in-house. I don't have a practice, but
Okay.
we sold our car, and we sold a bunch of furniture. We sold just all kinds of things. And then I do real estate on the side.
Okay.
So
And
real estate there.
let's talk about the mortgage. What is your mortgage payment every month compared to your take-home pay?
Mortgage right now is about $2,800.
Okay. And what is your take-home pay?
Take-home pay a month is about $11,500.
Okay.
That's net.
So the mortgage is not killing you guys. It's about 25%, which is great. That's in our parameters, which tells me you've got, of course you have huge payments. What are your minimum payments every month right now?
So right now, based on, whatever income-driven repayment type that they have, the minimum payment for all of the student loans is about $700.
That's the problem. I would get out of this plan unless you guys are shoveling so much on top of it that you're actually solving the interest problem. And so I wouldn't sell the house quite yet. I don't know that I'd move in with mom and do all of these maneuvers. In 3 years, you'll be debt-free and you can make different decisions and do it out of a place of peace instead of fear. So that would be my goal for you.
Yeah, if you think he's frustrated with the baby steps, move in with his mom and pay her mortgage. They're going to set your marriage on fire. Don't do that.
Thanks for the call, Elena. This is The Ramsey Show.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.
Randall is going to start us off this hour in Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the Super Bowl-bound Bengals. Oh, my goodness, taking the NFL by storm. Randall, how can we help?
Thanks for starting that way, guys. Who Day, by the way.
There it is. I
Anyway.
knew we had a shot at the Who Day, and so you just delivered beautifully, sir.
For sure. So I inherited a home from my mother who passed away in December. For the full year prior to her passing, she had dementia, and both of my brothers are living in that home. They are not receiving that inheritance via her will. One of them had taken advantage of her in the last 6 months and completely depleted $35,000 out of her bank account. And so I'm stuck with this house and just not sure what to do, not sure what direction to go with the brother who has stolen. And so I'm just kind of overwhelmed with it, and I'd like to get your guys' advice.
Quick point of clarification, John. Yeah. So, Randall, do I understand that you inherited the house in the will? You personally?
Correct, yes.
Okay, and the two brothers are living in it?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and so first I want to say sorry about your mother's loss, man. How did she pass away?
Thank you. Her heart stopped. There were complications from the dementia. She was getting pretty bad off, but with various medications and so on, and her heart eventually just gave out.
Okay. So what's your relationship like with your brothers? And it's an important context for how I'm going to suggest you move forward here.
My oldest brother, who is not the guilty party, I have a great relationship with him. I talk with him pretty frequently. My middle brother, it's very strained at the moment.
Okay. As it should be, because he stole $35,000 from your mother, his mom, right? And I'll go one step further. Were both of these brothers living with her during this time?
Yes.
Yeah, I would suggest older brothers is complicit in this too. Either through not stepping up or not saying, hey, no chance, you know what I mean, not being involved in this deal.
Yeah.
So
it was mainly my middle brother who was doing most of her caretaking. He was without work. My older brother was working and contributing as much as he could, but for the most part, it was my middle brother who was doing that. And I almost think that he feels like he was owed that money because he was the one doing all the medical stuff and taking her to appointments and doing all of that.
Yeah, and you come to that conclusion when all the kids sit down and say, here's how we're going to handle the next 6 months of care, and then at month 4.5 or 5, you sit down and have that meeting again and say, how's everybody doing? And he just decided he was going to start billing his mother for care. He can be unemployed, living rent-free, billing mom by stealing from her. And that's the way addicts, that's the way thieves justify their behavior. And so there's a reason why your mom left you this house and didn't split it up amongst the boys. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've heard me say this before. I'll say it again. It's not by your hand, but in your lap. You didn't cause this problem. You're a person of integrity and character, and that's why your mom trusted you with her home. And at this point, you have to decide, do I want to be the landlord of a thief and somebody who's not paying attention to mom? Or are you going to sell the house, tell them, hey, you guys got 30 days, I'm evicting you, I'm selling this house, and I'm moving on with my life. Even if you want to split up and give them some of the money, if you think that's the right thing to do. But I'm going to wash my hands of this house, and we're moving on with it. But I think that's your only option right now.
Yeah, I was coming to that conclusion. My concern was, what do I do with my brother?
How old is he?
Give him money? He's 51, and my oldest brother's 54.
It's time for you to stop taking care of him. He's a big boy.
Why would you give him money?
Yeah.
Instead of asking us if you should,
why
would you?
Yeah, it's the heart issue. I just feel so bad that he would be going out on the street, and I feel like I'm forced to kick him on the street.
He's robbed your mom.
Whoa. Is there anything in the will, any kind of directive or suggestion from your mom that when she decided for you to take care of the estate, specifically the house, that you were supposed to sell it and split the profits? Is there any direction at all?
No, it was just for the goods within the home that we were supposed to split. The house was specifically
so split the goods.
Yeah, split them.
Split the goods. Say here's what the will said, and this is what we're doing. We sell this, and here's your proceed. If you want to give him your cut, just because you feel bad. I mean, this is more my colleagues' take, but I'm just going to common sense this. This isn't the counselor approach, but it's like you don't owe this 51-year-old brother anything other than what the will specifically lays out as it relates to the goods inside the house. Outside of that, this is up to your discretion, and you have to decide, am I going to base my relationship with my brother going forward on me giving him more money that he doesn't actually deserve or have any right to after he's already stolen money? I don't think you should lose any sleep over this at all.
Really, the right thing, and I say right not in a moral, ethical thing, but the right from a justice perspective, is you call the police and you say that this man stole $35,000 from my mother over the course of 6 months, and I'd like it investigated. That's what justice would say. You sitting down and saying, your free ride at 51 is over, and it's time for you to get a job and to get your own place. And if, like I said, I get the will says this, and I also get being a brother saying, how much is this house worth?
About $140,000.
Yeah, so I can imagine you holding $140,000 and watching your brothers move out, right? And that'd be hard. And you'd think, well, they deserve some of that.
Well, technically, his cut, he ought to take the $35,000 out of his cut.
Ooh, I like that. I'm giving you each $35,005, and you can give one brother a $5 bill and the other brother $35,000 and high five him and tell him send him on their way. But there is a reason here why your mother left you this money. These problems don't come out of a vacuum. Someone just doesn't decide to take advantage of their dying mother. Has he been like this for a while?
Really, it's just developed over the last 6 months, to be honest with you, that I know of from bank records.
Why did she? No. I'm talking about just a little bit squirrely, a little bit out of work, a little bit, hey, Mom, I need to move back in.
A lot of 51 living with Mom.
Yeah, I mean, he's had various issues. He had a surgery. He broke his ankle, and that eventually led to more problems. So he's had some medical issues within the last 10 years is why he's went back with her.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, you're in the middle. The situation got dropped in your lap, brother. And I think the right thing to do is to tell him, hey, guys, it's time for y'all to find a new place. I'm selling this house. You can come up with the split if you think that's necessary. I don't think it is, especially to the brother who stole from your mom. But you got to sleep well at night.
So sorry for your loss, Randall.
Jay is with us in Boise, Idaho. Merry Christmas, Jay. How are you?
Oh, I'm well. How are you?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Hey, so earlier this month, we were rear-ended in a car accident, and thankfully no major hospitalizations or injuries, but the car is most likely to be totaled. We're now on day 19 waiting for insurance to let us know.
Wow.
But my question for you is, we bought the car in 2020 before it's our BD before Dave days, and we owe 8 on it. It's worth, if they total it, I believe it's worth between $14,000 to $15,000. So we're thankful for that in the market. But we're going to need to replace it, and I just want to know the wisest way to do this. We do not have the cash to pay for a car, and we just need advice.
Yeah. Well, you've been through a pretty traumatic thing. Getting hit that hard is a big deal, and it kind of makes you think, "Oh, I need to do this or that." You're obviously trying to get out of debt, correct?
Correct. We had our our anger moment was in October.
Okay.
And that's when we got intense, and so we're brand new on this. We have we're in baby step 2. We have our $1,000 emergency fund.
How much debt do you have other than the car?
30.
On what?
It's all consumer. It's credit, and then the 8 for the car is included in that. I'm sorry, you said aside from the car. So about 20, a little over 20,000, and it's credit cards.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well done.
Yeah. What's the process look like with insurance right now? So you said that you've been waiting 19 days. What's their correspondence been like? Are they in the process of evaluating?
Well, yes, they are. I'm working with the at-fault insurance, and they are. I don't talk to them unless I call them, and I think I've talked to her twice. But the ball is rolling. She said they're waiting on estimates from their person, and I actually missed a phone call from. I think it was from her while I was on hold for you. So I think they're at the process where they're ready to tell me it's totaled or they're going to fix it. We're in a rental car that they're providing, and the day they total it, we have 4 days. I am not in a hurry. We are not in panic mode. We have family. We have friends. We do not have to go buy a car.
What's your other car?
Within those. My vehicle is a 4-passenger. It's a Ford Focus, or 5-passenger. Mm-hmm. We have 7 in our family, though. Mm-hmm. So as far as being able to borrow a car, we could do that in the short term.
Mm-hmm. No, I wouldn't do that.
So
well, if you had to for a little bit, but until you find a deal. Okay. This is going to sound bizarre, so I'm going to go ahead and say that out loud, but it is also exactly what I have done and what I would do if I were in your shoes. The goal here is not short-term comfort. The goal here is live like no one else so that later you can live and give like no one else. So I'm going to use this situation as an opportunity to pay cash for a car with the equity that you get out of this car. So it sounds like they're going to give you $7,000 or $8,000. I'm going to go buy a $7,000 or $8,000 car.
Okay.
And that got rid of your car note. So you just paid off a bunch of debt.
Yes.
And the only way you can do this and fight through the emotions of what I'm suggesting is to really tell yourself the truth. And the truth is, this is temporary.
Yeah.
It's not that long. Okay. So what's your household income?
75.
So how quick do you pay off the remaining 20, do you think?
Our every dollar estimate is looks like it's going to be 23 months.
That's too long with what you make. I was thinking about 10 months. So I think we need to cramp down on the budget and maybe pick up some extra income from somewhere, maybe even look for something else to sell. But I want you out of debt, and so that you're buying a better car with as an upgrade with cash by this time next year is what I'm thinking.
Well, and I want to encourage you that $14,000 to $15,000, if that car gets totaled and you get that amount, you can still get a decent car.
No, it's not. He owes $8,000.
Right.
And if he gets 16,
so he's got
that's going to be
6,000
$8,000 in his pocket. If he gets 15, it's going to be $7,000 in his pocket. So
you can still get a pretty good car for $7,000.
That's what I want to do. Yeah.
Literally before this year, I'd never bought a car over $10,000, and I've been driving just fine, guys.
For a long time. Yeah.
For a long time, simply because I'm frugal.
But the point is, you're moving. It's hard emotionally to move with little kids down from a $15,000 car to a $7,000 car, a $14,000 car down to a $7,000 car. But if you remind yourself over and over and your family that this is for a year,
it's temporary.
This is an adventure. It's a 1-year thing or a 14-month thing or a 8-month thing, whatever it is. When you can lean in on this and get it done fast, then you can move up in car with cash. And so I can drive a junker for a period of time.
Well, and that's part of the motivation too, is, to get it to go from 23 months down to 10 is remember that it's just a season. And the more aggressive you are, the quicker that season passes.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I just started a new job about 9 months ago. I work for a medical supply company. And, obviously, everyone's paying attention to the news. These tariffs are kind of scaring us as a business and a company. And so my question to you guys today is, we're on baby step 2. We're taking the course right now. So we're on our 7th or 8th week in the course. And we've been paying off debts, and it's been feeling great. But with these tariffs, there's communications and stuff from our uppers or CEOs, and they've been very good with us. But at the same time, there's no guarantee that our jobs are safe. So my question to you today is, do we continue to make these extra payments with a high concern in job security, or do we hold off on making those payments to kind of see how things go and just save that money, or should we
tell me what's going on? Where are you guys getting your parts from? These medical supply parts, I'm assuming, is what you're talking about.
Yeah. So a few years ago, they moved everything from China to Mexico. So obviously that has a big impact on our business to the point of significant losses.
So hold on a second. Hold on. I just got to ask a few questions. So your company is importing medical supplies from Mexico, correct?
Exactly.
Okay. Yep. And all of them, or some of them of your inventory that you're offering, how much of the business is affected by imports from Mexico?
Yeah, it's a complicated structure, but I would say probably, we're set to lose, 17-18% of our business.
Why are you losing it? You guys are just going to stop buying and selling those?
No,
do we have more profits?
Yeah, exactly. We'll lose most of our profits, and that's kind of my concern is just how
okay,
is that
gotcha.
going to impact us.
All right, that helps. That's why I'm digging in. So you're talking about your profit margin is definitely going to get hit, but you're not necessarily losing business.
No.
Okay. And what is your leadership? Because here's the other part of this equation. It's how much of that cost are you guys going to pass along to your customers? You understand? That's why guys like me, free traders, I don't like tariffs, never going to like tariffs. So don't at me or send me hate email. I'm not going to read it, and I'm right. So we'll just leave it at that. Tariffs become taxes. It's just that simple. So are your leadership, are they talking about, hey, we think we're going to actually lose accounts because we would have to offset our increased cost by importing these parts from Mexico, and now they're more expensive due to the tariffs, and we can't offset that by passing along to our customers, so therefore we feel like we're going to get really hit hard. I mean, what are they communicating? Because that will help George and I in answering your question. What's been communicated to you, or are you just looking at the headlines?
Hey, George here with a quick interruption. If something were to happen to you tomorrow, would your family know where to find your life insurance policy, your will, even your Netflix password? Well, Knockbox solves that. It's a kit that organizes your financial accounts, estate plans, and everything your family would need all in one place. That way they don't have to hack into your laptop or locate some long-lost thumb drive. So leave them a legacy, not a scavenger hunt with Knockbox. Ramsey fans get the best discount available at knockbox.com/Ramsey. That's knockbox.com/Ramsey.
What's been communicated to you, or are you just looking at the headlines?
No, they've been communicating, and everything's on the table. We'll try to eat some of it, obviously, but we also, it's a medical field, so there's set contracts and fees and stuff that are already locked in.
So you can't raise the price.
So they locked in the price at $1 a needle, and now you guys are getting charged $1.10, and so you're losing money on the contracts essentially.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay. By the way, while I'm here, I'm just going to leave this here for all of you who want to be educated on things beyond just your personal money. This is why I don't like tariffs. You got fixed contracts, and this creates a problem. So,
and there's the retaliation tariffs from Mexico that will affect U.S. businesses.
I know. Trade wars are never fun. Okay. I'll leave it at that. There's your geopolitics lesson for today. Okay. So, George, does this constitute a storm?
Where we would say leadership is actually saying, here's what's going to happen. And hey, phase 1, here's what happens. Phase 2, layoffs. Here's who goes. And, even Ramsey did this during COVID. Our team communicated, leadership said, here's what's going to go down if things take a shift.
Right.
And then you kind of know the game plan. And so I think there's not enough information right now to go, I'm going to pause. Because this could be a year long. This could be 3 years. We don't really know how short-term this is. And if it was a short-term storm, I'd say let's pause and save up. But if this is going to be 4 years of who will they or won't they?
I don't think it's going to be. I do think that I can't predict this, but I do think that the tariff situation is going to be settled at some point in the near future.
And can you guys, change suppliers next month, and then this will be solved in 90 days?
Yeah, I would keep my ear to the ground. I'd keep my ear to the ground, Isaiah, on this.
But how much debt do you guys have?
Yeah, so we have about 15 to 16,000 in consumer debt, and then another 36 in student loans. And over the past 5 years, we've paid off probably 70, 80 with no real intensity. But now that we're taking the course, we're trying to stick to the course and do what we're told.
Yeah. What's the 15, 16K outside of the student loans?
One of them's a private student loan, one's medical, and then one is a refinance that my lovely self did a long time ago.
Okay. So how quickly would you get out of debt? If you just stayed on the Ramsey plan, how quickly would you get out of debt at this point?
We're shooting for probably 2-3 years.
3 more years to pay the rest of this debt off?
Something like that. That's kind of where we're
That feels like a long time based on, what's your household income right now?
I think it's like 120.
So 120 grand, and you have another, 40, 50, you have 51 grand left in debt?
Yep.
So why can't, out of that 120, you take 25 and be done in 2 years or less? I feel like that's even conservative.
I said 2 or 3 years, yeah.
So I'm thinking we get really intense about this and try to knock this out very quickly. And if you do get wind that, hey, layoffs are imminent, they are happening, I would then pause and save up. But right now, I don't know that there's enough ammo to go, we're going to push pause on life and just stack up cash.
Yeah.
I'd wait for a little more communication.
I concur.
I just feel like everyone's on edge, and so leadership is preemptively communicating. Now, his is legit, where their business is affected directly and instantly.
You know what? I feel like we need to take a couple of minutes here and talk about guidelines versus headlines.
Ooh.
Can we do that?
I like where this is going.
So here's what you're going to see in the headlines. You're going to see the stock market drops yesterday, almost 900 points. I haven't looked at it today. You're seeing the tariff news, right? Trump's not backing down. Canada's bowing up. Mexico's bowing up. Are they going to negotiate? What's going on? China's getting involved. You're going to watch all these headlines. Now I'm seeing stuff, and I look at all the different news sites, by the way. I'm apolitical in my news gathering because I want to know what people are seeing. You're going to see headlines about, is a recession going to happen? You got realities right now of stagflation is kind of hanging out. For those of you who didn't pay attention in the 6th grade, stagflation is where inflation goes up and the economy goes down into a recessionary state. That is real. So you got all these things. So what if we're not careful, George, we get so focused on the headlines and we feel like, oh boy, I got to be nimble. What am I going to do? I got to get in front of this storm. when it's not actually a storm. And then I want to say we got to be focusing on the guidelines. The stuff that we teach makes you recession proof.
Yeah.
You know, thoughts
Getting
on that?
Not owing people money, having an emergency fund. That's the goal, is getting to that financial peace to where no matter what's going on in the headlines, your family's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And so in this case, would you tell our friend Isaiah, hey, I might be looking for a different job?
I would be doing that.
In a similar field and maybe have something lined up in case you got to
That's what I was thinking. I wouldn't pause the baby steps, but I would say, all right, let me look at what if worst case scenario happens, which, by the way, based on what I could pull out of that situation, again, this is the negative side of tariffs that nobody wants to talk about if you're in love with one side of the aisle.
Yeah.
You just, well, he said we're going to do it. Let's all do it. Woohoo. And it's like, whoa, hold on a second. This has real economic impact, and this is an example. So in that situation, you cannot control what the White House does. So we say you control what you do in your house. And so don't stop knocking out debt, but start looking for a fallback plan if for some reason you got laid off.
And it's a good lesson in diversification for business owners out there.
Yeah.
You can't just rely on one supplier, because if something happens to that supplier, prices, they shut down, whatever it is, COVID,
Right.
now you're stuck. And your whole business relies on that.
Exactly.
So it's important to have backup plans.
And to tie a bow on all this, because I'm trying to inform you folks, this is why if you're going to do tariffs, you've got to deregulate, you got to cut taxes for businesses, because the whole goal of this is to not be reliant on foreign countries for imports. Let's make products in America, American-made products. I'm all for that.
And you heard small businesses, that's the backbone of the economy right there.
Go.
Not
So,
good.
There's your lesson from the headlines. Follow our guidelines. You'll be okay.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So my question to you is, I'll just kind of give a little scenario here. You know, we have several family gatherings, several times a year. And one of my relatives always seems to turn the conversations to money, like how much things cost, how much she spends, what she pays for things, and, right down to kind of the very high dollar amounts. So, for example, at Easter, she told all of us that her bonus payment was so big that she could buy herself a brand new BMW that we all got to go take a tour of out in her garage. And so
she just up and said that out of the clear blue sky.
Kind of.
And then said, hey, you guys want to come out to the garage and check it out?
The garage.
Yeah, come out and see my new car.
Real quick question. I want you to keep going, but I'm just curious. What is the relationship? Can you tell us what that is? Is it sibling?
It's a first cousin.
First cousin. And did you grow up with said cousin? Did you spend a lot of time with her as you were growing up, or was it more distant?
Yeah, I would say we were we're to this day almost very much like sisters.
Okay.
Oh, and how does this rub you when this happens? And you just gave us one example, but this is a pattern.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, and so that's why I'm calling, because it does bother me. And, I make a very good salary. I'm a registered nurse. And, I certainly don't feel comfortable talking about, how much I paid for things and how much things cost. And
do you think she's trying to make, do you think that she is trying to get a rise out of you when she says it? Or do you think that for her, she's comfortable talking about money and you're just not comfortable? Does that make sense? Which one is it? Is the onus more on her or more on you?
I think it's more on her, like maybe to kind of brag it up and
give me some more examples of what she might do. I want to know more.
Hey, George here in the control booth, and I bet you're wondering what they're going to say next. Get out of debt, sell the horse, yada, yada, yada. The advice may be predictable, but the internet is anything but. You see, your personal info is out there, up for grabs by shady companies ready to add more scam and spam to your life. And that's why I use Delete Me. Delete Me will scrub your data from all of these sites so that you can focus on The Ramsey Show instead of who's buying and selling your info. And Ramsey fans get 20% off at joindeleteme.com/Ramsey or by using the link in the description below. So go take control of your privacy as soon as this call is over.
Give me some more examples of what she might do. I want to know more.
So when we first got there, first of all, she had bought some jackets and they didn't fit. And so she gave me one of the jackets. I was like, oh, let me, I'll pay for it. It was a nice jacket. And she had bought one for her sister, and it was like, oh, no, and I was like, oh, I really like it. Where'd you get it? And it was, from this expensive denim company. And it was, I paid $80 for it. And
has she ever said anything bad about you? Like, has she ever done the backhanded compliment where it's like, well, I know you probably couldn't afford something like this, so just take it. Like, is she giving a backhanded compliment when she does it?
No, I wouldn't say that. No, not at all. It's almost like maybe she's a little, and I'm probably answering my own question, maybe she's insecure. And
100%. That's the third scenario. I think
she wants us to know how successful she is.
I think that's what's going on.
I don't.
Well, I want to dig a little more.
I want to dig a little more. So far, I'm going to tell you the side of the fence I'm on. So far, Tracy, I think it might be more you than her so far.
Okay.
And I don't say like neither of you is a bad person or neither of you is like even an insecure thing. I think some people are way more confident talking about money. And I do think that there's certain things that it's just like she's in a mode in her lifestyle right now. It doesn't sound like she's trying to.
I don't know. All right, let's go rewind. We've got your opinion. I want to rewind
but
on something.
Let me just finish. Here's the thing.
I'm sorry.
If my brother came home, and I think he did come home with a new truck, and he was like, I said, oh, is that a new car out in the driveway? He's like, oh yeah, I just got it. Let's go see it. And you go look at it. Like, I feel like that is kind of normal. And it's like, yeah, I never thought I'd be able to get it, but I got a raise and I was able to get it. Like, I think that's okay. And then when you were telling me about the jacket, I was kind of like, well, yeah, I feel like if I bought a jacket, I would give the other one to my sister. I'm pretty sure I have done that. And as long as she's not saying things like, do you know what I mean? Like, to be like, oh, well, I'll give it to you. I mean, I'm sure like you might not ever be able to have this, so I'm giving you, like, that would would burn me up, right?
All right, I got to ask. Okay, I got to ask.
Let's hear Ken.
I want some more questions. All right, so Tracy, are you the only family member that notices this and talks about this and is irritated by this?
I don't know the answer to that because I haven't really talked to any of my other family members.
And you've not
This
seen.
is just something that,
All right, another question. Sorry, I'm not cutting you off. I'm going to do rapid fire here. Okay. Have you, when she said that, let's talk about the BMW thing, and it came out of the blue, did you see anybody else kind of look at you like roll their eyes or make the oh, geez. Did any of that happen?
No, I did not.
You didn't see that?
No, it's just kind of like, oh, wow, great.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, this is great.
Yeah, I mean,
this
I
is
didn't
great.
see no nonverbals, nothing that like, the behind the back, rolling the eye, nothing like that.
Nobody else is saying this. Okay, Jay, this is stacking up nicely for you, but I'm not done. I'm not done.
Keep going. Yeah. Dig in.
I'm digging. This is really fun for me. Okay. When you said to us that you think she's insecure, give us some evidence as to, you said she's like a sister to you. Give me one other very clear example of her insecurity and how it pops up around how much money she makes.
I don't know if I can give any other examples other than the fact that it just always seems it's something that the conversation is somehow going towards, I went shopping and I spent $1,000 on clothes.
Okay.
All right. So, to get a bonus big enough to buy a BMW.
All right.
Wow.
One more question. I disagree with Jade. I will say, I'm going to make a statement and then a question. I disagree that it's just normal for somebody at an Easter gathering to bring up that they got a massive bonus. And went out and bought a Beamer, and I want to show you. I got to tell you, if one of my cousins did that, I'd be like, you're a pinhead. I wouldn't say that to him, but I'm like, I think that's obnoxious to say the absolute least. So I'm on Team Tracy because of that behavior.
I would want to know. I feel like
the question is
exactly how it happened.
When she's around you, without discussing money, she just always takes it to how much she spent on something. That's what I heard.
It seems, yes. It's always like, we talk about other things, but then it always kind of gravitates back towards how much something costs, or we need to get a new roof. And it was
now I'm ready to rule. Okay.
But my question to you is, how do I handle that?
That's where I'm going.
Kill him with kindness.
I think I want to know what Jade says, so I'll be quick. Here's what I think. I think that a A lot of this is her, and I think it's very normal for you to actually feel this way. However, you're giving her way too much power, and it's not your problem to fix. It's not your conversation to have. I think she is who she is, and I don't think you confronting her is going to change it. So I would go the route of putting up a boundary that every time she does that, I would change the subject on her. And I think it'll do two things for you. Okay. It'll train you to not give her power and let it irritate you. And number two, I think it puts up a natural conversational boundary to change the subject. Jade, you got 20 seconds. What would you add to that?
I'd want to know if she started from nothing. Like, did she start from the bottom and now we're here and she's just looking for someone to celebrate with? Because I want to celebrate with my sister, and I do.
This is obnoxious insecurity.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I'm in a weird situation. I used to work with my parents. They started a company 8 years ago, and I ran production for them. Every time I asked them for a raise, it was just an excuse, and we can't afford it, blah, blah, blah. So I left, and I'm working for their biggest competitor right now.
Juicy.
Wow.
Yeah, they got really upset about that.
I can imagine.
Did you do that for spite?
Well, whenever I would ask for a raise, if you can't pay me and I'm working my butt off for you, like I'm just going to leave.
Out of spite. Yes. Got it. All right.
Yeah. I'm like, what
it's
the
fine.
heck?
Own it. Okay.
Yes. So ever since I was 10 years old, if my dad doesn't get his way, he calls the cops, and I just turned 28. So this happened last year when I was 27.
Okay.
He called the cops saying that I was going to go home and unalive myself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because he wanted me to work for him again. They bought a $2 million house, and when I left, they realized they're losing money because they don't know how to run production. And now I'm working for his biggest competitor.
And so
they're losing money.
He calls the cops and lies to them about saying that you're going to do something really bad to yourself and that they need to show up?
Yeah, basically, he realized he was losing money, so he asked me to work for him again. And
but
I
how is
said,
this
"No
the solution?
way."
To like make you lose your job or something, and then you have to come crawling back to him? Like, what was his strategy here?
And that's what it seems like.
Well, what happened next? So the cops come, and then what happens?
The cop, yeah. So he asked me to work for him again. I said no. He calls the cops, and they put me into a hospital. I wasn't even there for a day. I told the doctors what was going on, and they let me go. But I have a $16,000 medical bill because of all that.
What's the $16,000? Just you going in the emergency vehicle?
That, and then being in the hospital for almost a day, I guess. Yeah.
And you didn't have health insurance?
At the time, no.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Okay. Yeah, because that's just riding in an ambulance.
Yeah, and you're wanting him to pay it because he caused this, which, of course, he's not going to do.
I told him if you ever want to see me again, you have to have a check. And he said, you're not getting a penny from me. So.
Okay.
Wow.
Well,
I'm so sorry. This is beyond.
I would call this the last straw.
Yeah.
And I'd be done with this relationship because clearly he is. He opted out. I want to make sure you know that, Tim. Because I know there can be a lot of guilt and shame and baggage that comes with a hurt relationship, especially one as close to a father and son. But this is not on you. He opted out of this relationship, and you need to just move on.
Mm-hmm. Now, the medical bill might be on you to take care of because, truthfully, as jacked up as many of the things are in this situation, the one thing that is on you is you didn't carry medical insurance. And so it came back to bite you in the butt in a sucky kind of way, but here we are, So unless you're trying to get lawyers involved, which I probably would advise against.
The only option is to try to sue him for the $16,000.
Yeah.
And I personally, it doesn't seem like any of this is worth that.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I do about this? Because I'm the type of person, I'm not in debt. I have no debt.
Then just pay it, dude.
You pay it. You can see if they'll be willing to settle. Do you have that money in savings?
Well, I do, but I feel like I shouldn't even pay it. I'm like,
listen, this type of situation, I think John might say like not by your hand, but in your lap kind of situation. There's a lot of dysfunction here. There's a lot of unhealthiness here with the relationship with your dad. And he chose to do something that he made a decision, but the reaction of it, the consequence of it ended in your lap. And part of that, you didn't have the insurance to cover it, and you'll learn your lesson from that. But kind of what George was saying, your choices here are you can either go after him legally for that money, but that's not going to end well. Like, it's just going to further deteriorate what's already going on.
It's going to take your mental energy, emotional energy, physical energy, financial energy just to fight this.
And y'all have already gone tit for tat, right? Like, I wanted a raise, they wouldn't give me a raise, so I'm going to, for spite, go work at, their competitor. He's going to do that. Well, I'm going to, call the police on him. So you guys are going back and forth, and somebody's got to stop, like, the crazy cycle. Somebody's got to go, enough is enough. I'm going to be the bigger man and make a choice that the other guy isn't going to expect, because he's expecting you to retaliate, right? And so just be the bigger man and go, okay, if I have the money, I'm paying this or I'm settling this, and I am dusting the dirt off my feet and I am moving on.
Mm-hmm. So, and that's kind of what I was like, do you think I should pay it then? Or
it's not in collections, is it? It's just with the hospital still?
It's just still with the hospital.
I would contact their financial office and sit down with them and explain to them the situation and see if they'll have some mercy on you.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they'll forgive it, maybe they'll cut it down, and you just write them a check and be done with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I would at least try to fight it in that regard.
Yeah, especially if you didn't have any real care. Like, you might not, like the ride in the ambulance, that's like 5 Gs without even thinking. But if you look through that bill, because they ask for an itemized bill, and really go through and say, like, did you give me this? Did they do that? And really get on the phone with them and say, listen, here's what happened.
All of a sudden, that 16 grand turned into 7 once you ask for an itemized bill and go, what did you actually charge me for? And if you can get proof from the police or otherwise, some actual legal proof that this was fraudulent, that he did this out of spite and there was no real merit behind it, they may wipe it for that reason. I don't know. But it's worth at least digging into.
Okay. Yeah, and looking at the itemized bill. Because they let me go. I wasn't even there for a day. I explained to them the
and if
situation,
they've no proof after running testing,
so bad.
So we're not lawyers. You may want to contact one just for a consultation to see what your options are to try to get this removed. But man, the harder part is just realizing that you just lost a relationship with your father.
Yeah.
That's going to sting more than the 16 grand. We can pay off debt. We can't repair an unrepairable relationship.
Yeah.
And for that, I'm truly sorry. But the good news is you're healthy. You're here. You've got the money to pay it off. I'm going to just learn from this and move on. And if you have to get a restraining order on this guy and make sure the cops are aware of, hey, if this guy ever calls on me, know that he is just a spiteful, crazy man. But goodness, I cannot imagine being in that situation.
Yeah, the hardest part for him is going to be not to retaliate, because that's the pattern that they have with each other.
On that resentfulness, that'll stick with you if you're not careful.
Yeah.
And you start to drink your own poison, thinking that it's going to hurt the other person.
That's true. You got to forgive him.
Tim, you might want to just go to counseling and therapy to deal with the loss of your father in a sense. Because I think that grieving is going to take some time and maybe some professional help. So I'm sorry you're going through it. Glad you're on the other side soon. Hopefully you'll be back to debt-free in no time.
Create your free $Every budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by the $Every app. Start budgeting for free today.
So my question is, I'm 19 years old, moved away from home, currently living on my grandpa's farm. And my dad wants $2,800 a month from me.
For what?
And he does not. So basically his dad, my grandpa, most kids turn of age when they're 18. My grandpa decided to do that for my dad when he turned 21. But for me, when I turned 21.
Okay.
I'm confused. Your dad decided to do what? Your grandpa decided to do what? I'm not understanding.
Like, you become adults when you're 21? Is that what you're saying, instead of 18?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, but let's just go back to, why does your dad want $2,800 a month from you?
I don't know.
That's your adult tax?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, you're telling me your dad said to you in some form or fashion, you went to live with your grandfather, and he said, I want $2,800 a month, and you just need to send it to me, and no explanation, and you didn't ask any questions?
Yeah, I had a couple of conversations with Dad about it, but
But what?
it seemed. Well, okay, so the conversations kind of went like this. I asked him. I told him I didn't think it was fair. Told him that if I'm living away from home and he's not paying any of my expenses,
correct,
then he shouldn't get any of my money.
Yes, and amen. Jade, do you agree with this statement so far?
Yeah.
She's stunned. I'm going to get her a cold rag. She's completely stunned.
I'm in shock.
I don't get it either. So you said it's not fair. What did he say?
So he just said that he was offended that I even had the, how would you say it? Maybe the balls.
Audacity?
I like your way of saying it. I like your way of saying it. Yeah, sure.
Sure. Okay, I feel like there's a missing link here because as you were rolling this out, you mentioned the adulthood thing. Is there a link there that you're saying, is there some sort of link? I'm trying to understand this other than to just tell your dad where he can put his opinion, which is where the sun doesn't shine. You know what I'm saying?
Is that Jade's asking the right question? Is that basically your dad's demanding that because until you're 21, you do whatever he says?
Yeah, that's correct.
Got it.
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Well.
So in my opinion, if I'm living under his roof, eating his food, he has the right to make whatever requirements that he wants.
No,
not really.
No. Let's just nail that down. If you were living with him now and you were making money, and you are, he could ask for rent, and that's totally fair.
Yeah.
And pay a portion of the utilities. At which point, you still get to decide whether or not you want to do it or not, and then he gets to decide whether or not you get to stay. So that is a normal relationship thing. But this idea that if I lived with him, then I'd have to do whatever he says is bonkers.
Well, what I meant by that, maybe I didn't make myself clear. What I meant by that is, if he doesn't want the living room lights on after 11 p.m.
I agree. Yeah, no, I get it.
He has the right to lay some ground rules.
Yeah. I understand
if I want to stay there, then
sure.
That's what I was trying to get to.
Ground rules, yes. Demanding money from you that you make is what I was referring to.
When you don't even live there, Austin, you're 18. Is that right?
Yep, I'm currently 19.
Have you paid him? Have you paid him any money?
Yeah.
What have you paid him?
I definitely have. $2,800 a month. Actually, last while I've been sending him $3,000 a month just to, try to.
How long have you been sending him? How long have you been sending him $3,000 a month?
So about a year ago, I came up to my grandparents' farm, worked, and
no. Hey, just answer. Just answer my question. It's a number. How long have you been sending him $3,000 a month?
About 4 months, and then before that, it was $2,800 a month. And then before that, he was paying for my expenses, and he got all my money.
Is there something wrong with him? Like, is there a reason? Is there a reason he can't work? Is there something?
Nope.
I'm sorry.
No, it's a legit question. I'm laughing not at your question, but because something's
wrong with him.
Something is so weird about this. So so Austin, you've already paid him way too much. You should have never paid him a nickel.
Don't give him any more money.
Don't give him any more money. And so if you called today because you're like, this doesn't feel right, and I'm going to get two strangers' opinion on this, hear us loud and clear. Your dad is manipulating you.
Yes.
This is crazy unhealthy. There's no good way to stop doing this other than just to stop doing it. He's going to come at you. He's going to guilt you. He's going to do a lot of things. But this is a point in your life where you have got to say no more.
And you made the first right move by moving out, by going to your grandfather's house. The next right move, once you have that, here's the thing, Austin, once you have that $2,800 or that $3,000 back in your pocket, do you want to know what you can afford to do?
Yeah, I want to fly a plane or a helicopter. So yeah,
or get your own place, my guy. Get your own place, so you're out of this kind of.
Is your
what I'm doing here is I'm kind of formulating that you guys are all kind of tangled up together, is what it feels like, and you might need to get out of that.
Okay, quick question: is your grandfather for, against, or does he have no clue about this at all?
So
don't give me the long answer like you're a politician. Just tell me the answer. Does your grandfather know about it? Yes or no?
he does know about it.
Does
yeah.
he approve of it or disapprove of it?
I did ask him about that a while back ago, and his answer was that he is not against Dad getting some, but not that much.
Okay, then you need to
good
get up out.
Lord.
You need to roll out.
That's where I'm going.
Roll out.
Because Grandpa is not helpful.
He's not.
And now, when you make this call to your dad and go, Pop, the gravy train stops. By the way, name me. Point blank. No problem at all.
Ken Coleman on the radio said
that you were manipulating. I'm not kidding you.
I figure he'll probably listen to this. So.
Good. Well, then, Dad, if you're hearing this, I got to tell you, my friend, I'd shake your hand. I'd have coffee with you. But I would tell you straight up that this is twisted. It is manipulative. It is wrong. And it is destroying, if it not has already destroyed, the relationship with your son. Stop this nonsense. Let the boy fly. Now, Austin, back to you. Jade's right. You got to get out of Grandpa's house as soon as you can. By the way, $3,000 a month is going to allow you to go get a nice apartment, my man, today.
Okay, so the thing is, Grandpa does not live on the farm. My uncle does live on the farm.
Well, that's fine. You got it. My point is, we got to go. I'm running into a break. But listen, you've got to get out on your own. You can afford it now. And move all family ties off of this deal so that the grief from your dad doesn't have a collateral damage coming from them. That's our point. Oh, my goodness.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So my father passed a few months ago.
Oh,
and
so
the thing
sorry.
is, thank you. And the thing is, he left everything to me, his house, his investments, his business. He didn't give anything to my sisters who are estranged and with our mother ever since my parents divorced. And my sisters they have asked me to help pay their student loans because my father left them with nothing.
How much was it?
Combined, I believe they went to both undergrad and grad, so combined it's about $300,000.
No, how much was the? Yes, thank you for telling me that. But how much was the inheritance?
It's a couple of million. It's basically his house, his investments, and his business.
When you say a couple million, is that like 2 million or is that like 6 million?
It's in the 8 figures.
Okay. So we're talking 10 million plus.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow, okay.
So he purposefully did not leave any money to your sisters because he had no relationship with them, and that was his call to make.
Are they
Basically,
misbehaviors?
he didn't. No, he basically cut them off because they sided with our mother during their divorce.
Okay, so they're team mom, you were team dad, and he goes, hey, I'm going to leave it all to my son who's been loyal to me.
Yes.
Okay. And now they're resentful because they feel like they deserve a portion of this money.
It seems like it, yes.
Okay. I think this is more relational, emotional than it is financial. You could write them a check and pay off the loans, but I don't know that you agree with the principle behind it or that would have been your father's heart.
Well, yeah, what do you want to do? What's your heart lean towards?
Meet Every Dollar Budgeters Christy and Steve. They used to fight about money.
I'm the spender.
I'm definitely the saver.
Now that they budget with Every Dollar, they're on the same page.
Money is definitely one thing we do not ever fight about.
Having the budget gave me the permission to spend.
Knowing that the money is in each category, it just allowed us to work together better.
Now that's what we call a win-win.
Now we just have to pick paint colors.
We can't help you with that. Every Dollar. Create your free account today.
What's your heart lean towards?
I don't want to disrespect my father in any way.
Okay.
Do you have a
And
relationship
for
with your
me,
sisters, or is it estranged as well?
It's estranged.
Okay.
So they've only come to me only for very unique cases, or when they were going to college or grad, they came to both my father and I for money. My father, I know I was there. My father refused to pay for them, and that's why they have the debt to begin with.
So it's been transactional, this entire relationship.
But can I ask, because here,
Yep.
where I'm sitting, and you've given us, thank you for sharing what you've shared so far. What I'm trying to weigh, and George, I don't know how you're looking at this either, but I'm trying to weigh if this was a decision that was made out of dysfunction, which is I'm forcing you to choose sides, and you guys are children, so you're choosing whatever, I don't know, the parent you like the most that day, that sort of thing. And is this your father, having a kind of just an immature moment, right? Or is this really a reason that is with good reasoning behind it of, hey, I cut them off because they were misbehaving in this way and they made these poor choices? Or is it literally just simply, I don't like your mother anymore and they like her, you're dead to me?
So my mother had an affair. That's why they divorced. My sister sided with my mother because they liked the affair partner more. And I sided with my father because he was my father.
Got you. Okay. So you can't see how they would stand by someone who would do such a thing, basically.
Yes.
I understand. Okay.
I think you're going to be resentful if you give this money. And I'd rather them be resentful towards you than you be resentful towards them.
Okay.
There's no easy answer here. They're going to hate you, but it sounds like they didn't like you to begin with. They just used you for transactional moments. And so I don't think this is going to change anything if you say, that wasn't my father's wishes, I'm sorry.
Listen, I got more to I feel more to it than that. How old were you guys when this happened?
I was 17. My sisters were 15 and 13.
That's interesting to me. Listen, I don't think there's a wrong or right to this. I really don't. It feels very extreme to me that I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just telling you my thoughts. It feels extreme to me that a parent would put children in a situation where they have to choose. And because something about the situation made you guys feel like you had to choose, right? And
Not really. I mean, the thing is, I did not know about my parents' affair. Apparently my sisters did.
And they said nothing.
And yeah, they said nothing.
Which is
And
not on
that's
not on the daughters. It's on the parent to not put them in the position to keep that secret. Like, kids are kids. Teenagers, they're kids.
A 15-year-old doesn't have the emotional bandwidth to navigate that.
Yeah. And probably thinks, oh, I'm going to be disloyal. Like, kids don't understand what role to play in that. Now, looking back on adults, we can look back and go, maybe I should have done this, maybe I shouldn't. Who knows if they've done the right therapy to work through those things. I just feel that on a surface level, to punish the children for a spousal misbehavior because the children didn't react in the way that the adults felt should have happened. I do struggle with that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just telling you called in. So I'm saying I do have a little bit of a struggle with that. It's not an error on your part. It feels like an error on the dad for saying, I'll show you, and kind of putting a lot of that sting and unforgiveness for what mom did on the kids. I'm no therapist, so that's just my 2 cents. This is tough. I'm not going to lie.
So my father, he suffered very greatly from the divorce, very emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
I know because I was there.
Sure, yeah, rightfully so.
He dipped into the alcohol. He dipped into alcohol for a while, but he built himself back up.
Uh-huh.
And he showered me with love and attention because I was the only one that he had. And I don't want to in any way disrespect his wishes. I think he had a purpose to when he wrote his will and he never changed it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had a purpose to when he refused my sisters for the college.
Mm-hmm.
And that's only a drop in the bucket. There have been numerous instances where I know that my father has tried to reach out, especially when my sisters had their kids.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't want anything to do with him. So can I ask this question? Did they, okay, he wrote them off because they followed mom. Did they then write him off because he wrote them off? Was it, do you see what I'm saying? Who wrote whom off first?
My sisters, definitely.
And what was their reason for writing him off if he was completely an innocent party in all of this? I don't know. That's the part I'm trying to understand. It's one thing for them to be like, we still like mom. Like, we don't want this, and for whatever their reasons were, they continue to have a relationship with her. But what would make them completely disassociate from dear old innocent dad who did nothing wrong but love them?
It was basically, from what I understand, the affair partner was very charismatic. He bought them a lot of stuff, and this was back when my father's business wasn't successful.
Okay.
So, so much to say, he probably bought their love and affection.
Got it. Got it. So it was a materialistic relationship.
Here's my final take on this. Again, not trying to play armchair therapist, but I think you're not ready to forgive your sisters and cause reconciliation, and giving them this money feels like you're taking that next step. Is that accurate?
I know that the thing is that I want the old grudges to die. At the same time, I want to respect my father's wishes. And because my father was a God-fearing man, he was very devout. And I know that forgiveness is in the Bible, but I don't know, you're right, I am not ready to forgive them for the pain that they caused my father. Neither my mother, neither my sisters.
That's it. You just said it out loud.
If you're not ready to forgive,
you're not ready.
Don't forgive yet, but I think you should eventually. And my final take is, I do think that him cutting them off was a little bit of dysfunction on his part. And I don't think that they necessarily deserved that. It doesn't sound like I wasn't there, but based on what you said, I don't know if I'd want to keep that dysfunction going.
Yeah. And I want you to be giving out of joy. That's how giving should be done, not out of, I just hate to be doing this with a clenched fist. So I'd read that Bible again and see if all that grace and mercy talk might eventually heal some of this relational dysfunction. So sorry, man.
Create your free $Every budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by YRefi. Refinance your defaulted private student loans today at yrefi.com/Ramsey.
I have a question about Parent Plus loans. My dad took it out for me and my two older sisters, and I've since graduated. This was 16 years ago that I graduated. But anyway, my parents are getting to retirement now, and it's basically like my dad always finds a way to throw in there that he's paid on these Parent Plus loans our whole lives, and just saying that it's the reason that he's broke and that he doesn't have money for life insurance, and he's feeling the pinch of retirement. And I basically don't know what to do, because I don't really know how much he owes. It's all he just likes to throw it in there and kind of he's upset about it, but my mom won't let us pay them, because basically all three of my sisters, if we can't all pay, she doesn't want any of us to pay them back.
What was the original idea? Was the idea we're taking out these Parent Plus loans so you all can go to school and this is our gift to you? Or was it said from the beginning, we're taking these out in our names, but you guys are paying them? Was there a agreement? Do you remember?
So it's been a long time, and I don't really remember what the agreement was for me. But I know for my oldest sister, I just recently talked to her about it. My oldest sister, who's 8 years older than me, she said that when they first did it for her, it was kind of we'll pay for the Parent Plus loan while you're in school, but then after that, we want you to pick up the payment.
So did she pick up the payment?
She did for maybe a year. And then when she got married and she had a baby, my parents kind of just relieved her of that responsibility.
So it's a gray area is what you're saying. It's a little different for everybody.
Right. And then my other sister did the same thing. She paid for a little bit after she graduated. But then since my oldest sister wasn't paying, my parents were well, it's not fair for us to make you pay. And so she stopped paying. But by the time it got to me, none of them were paying, so they never made me pay.
Do you know, and if you asked how much they are, Dad, how much are they? Would he tell you?
The thing is, he consolidated them and stretched them out over this long period of time, which is why, it's also hard to pay because they're all
Do you
lumped
have a
together.
total amount?
I think it's in the 40,000 range for all of them.
All right. And so, do you and your sisters have 15,000?
We do not. Yeah.
Okay. Then the discussion's irrelevant, honey. You don't have the money. Your dad signed up for this.
And he regrets it, and
he feels bad,
mm-hmm.
and he's not much of a. I mean, I got to tell you, I'm pretty disappointed in him
Mm-hmm.
for guilt tripping his own kids after it was a decision he made. Be a man of honor. Eat your broccoli, buddy. You signed up for this trip. Don't dump it on your kids every time they come over for Thanksgiving, or don't be shocked they quit coming over for Thanksgiving. They're gonna get tired of you.
It has like pushed us away,
Yeah,
and
nobody likes being a travel. Nobody likes hanging out with a travel agent for guilt trips.
Now, there is a side of this, and I'm in no way putting this on you, but I'm putting myself in your position. If my dad had done this and I was hearing about it, me being who I am today, or even back then, I might be interested in figuring out, okay, how much did you take out? It was my education. What is it that I'd want him to speak for real to me?
If it's 40 today, I would just take it by 3, which is 15 grand roughly.
Yeah.
12 grand, and just write a check and hand that to him. And
Exactly.
Go, I'm done.
Clear.
I'm done. You talk to the other two.
And that's, I mean, I'm not saying you have to do that.
What do you make?
But
You're in your 30s. What do you make?
I make $50,000 a year, or 50 to 60.
Are you married?
I have 2 jobs. Yes.
What's your husband
I'm married. He's about the same, 50 to 60.
So you guys make $125,000 a year.
Yes.
You have other debt?
Our house, and we're expecting a 3rd baby on the way.
And you don't have a dime. You don't have any money.
I do have a car note right now.
That's
but
debt.
Other than that, I owe 26 on that. But
good Lord.
Besides the car note and the car note and the house, we're good, and we do have a savings. But
how much is in your savings?
Like $3,000.
Okay, so you're not good. You're broke. You're your dad looking for this same thing to happen in a few years. Okay, so you guys need to get your else crap together, get this car paid off or get it sold, get you an emergency fund built, and then you can have a discussion about whether you want to reach over and help your parents. But today, you don't have a legal or a moral obligation in what you've told us. There's no ethical obligation here. It would be a gift. Which is what Jade is describing she would do. If you get yourself in a good, strong financial position and you want to give someone a gift that's related to this discussion, that's fine. But this is a charitable gift. You could write charity on the 4line of the check if you wanted to. Because you do not owe this money.
You really don't. And the only reason I was saying it is if you thought there was some way, because I'm thinking, this is my dad, this is eroding our relationship. If there's some way that I feasibly can kind of take this into my own hands, that's something I would do, but you don't have to. And it's not to say that it would even fix it.
Until you don't have a car payment and you have an emergency fund.
That's right.
And have a baby. You got 3 things going on here that need money long before your dad gets any.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I want to set you free from his guilt trips. He's not very honorable to do that. It's sad that an old man does that to his kids, his 3 daughters, and they do it all the time, though. And he's playing victim. He's playing victim for a trip he signed up for.
But the learning from
this way since he took it out.
It's been this way since it's all in all other parts of his life too. You're not the only place that he blames someone else for his own stupidity.
But the learning that you can take from this today is
don't be him.
Don't be him. So you today have a situation that you need tending to, which is your own finances, so that when your baby gets old enough to go to college, you're not taking out Parent Plus loans. And so that when you're that age, you can look up and feel good about how you've managed your finances instead of pulling load off and blaming off on everybody else. So this is your learning from this.
So number 1, if you never pay it back, that's fine. Number 2, definitely don't pay it back until you don't have a car payment. Deliver this baby successfully and have more than $3,000 in an emergency fund. Okay, you need a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. You need 0 debt except your house. And then if you want to save up 12 grand additionally, you and your husband agree on that. You do that in your budget and you want to throw it at them. That's a gift. That's fine. If you never pay him, that's perfectly okay with me. I'm really good with that.
Me too.
The only reason I would have you pay him is for you, not for him.
Mm-hmm.
He is not deserving. I'm pretty disgusted with him right now. So, I mean, I can't imagine. I'm 64, looking at my grown kids in their 30s and going, I mean,
You
what
owe
a
me.
wuss.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. My kids would look at me and go, who are you? You know?
Mhm.
And because it just wouldn't happen. I don't know whether it's hillbilly honor or what it is. I just have too much pride.
Yeah, I that's what I'm
To
wondering.
dump it on your kids. It's a lack of honor.
Mm-hmm. I
It's
agree.
just a problem. So we got a manhood crisis in America. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. There's one way to solve all that, by the way. No student loans.
Yeah, how about that?
How about looking at these three girls when they're 17 and go, get a job and go to community college?
Go to a state school.
Hello. You
Pay
can't
as you
go
go.
over there. You can't afford it. We don't have the money. And I'm not going in debt. You're up a creek, kiddo. You're going to have to figure it out. I like that answer.
I do too. Parents are not required to pay for college, and they're certainly not required to go into debt for it, but you are required to have a conversation early on about what the expectations are, and the expectation is there's no debt.
Yeah, and so go to a school you can afford. That we'll help you when we can, and that you can work while you're in school. By the way, it's not child abuse. And you can get some scholarships, and you can go to a state school, because nobody really cares where you went to school. All they care is you actually learn something. That's all they care. You never hired a doctor based on where he went to school. Why Refi? Refinances delinquent private student loans for struggling borrowers. Learn more at yrefy.com/Ramsey.
Let's go to Marie in Fargo. What's up, Marie? How we doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Hey, talking directly into your phone.
Yes. Can you hear me?
It's a little bit wobbly there.
Keep going. We'll see if we
we'll
can
give
get
it a
you.
shot. Yes.
What's your question?
Okay. So I'm the fourth generation in our family business. My boyfriend and I have been together for 4.5 years. My dad wants me to get a prenup. Neither my boyfriend and I want to, but my brother did recently get divorced, and he did have one.
Okay. So usually my thoughts on prenups, I'm not a fan of them. It's kind of like it's planning the end of something when you're going into it. When you've got something like a family business, here's what your prenup can protect you from. Less from your husband, your future husband, and more from your future husband's cousin's sister's brother's roommate. Or your husband, heaven forbid, gets sick and passes away or gets in a wreck, and some sister or some cousin sues you guys for your... Does that make sense? It just separates it all.
Okay.
That's where a prenup can be very, very useful. It's less about, I don't trust him, or I wouldn't be marrying him. It's more about if something happens to him, which is why we have insurance. That's why we have wills, because something will happen to all of us. But heaven forbid something does happen to him. It protects your business. It protects your stake in the business. It protects the whole thing from anybody coming out of the woodwork to try to take a piece of it.
Okay.
So what's your net worth?
I didn't even know that was possible.
Yes, it is. It is.
Me personally, not so much yet. I'm still young. Well, not that young, but the business does around $6 million a year.
That's a lot of dollars. And so you would be inheriting the business or some portion of it?
I wouldn't inherit it. I need to buy myself in, but yes.
And so what I would do is take a job. I would start working there if that's what you wanted to do, and take a...
Oh, no, I have been for the last decade.
Okay. Do you have enough money to buy in?
Currently, I have a sliver of the pie.
What does that mean?
Emphasis on an extreme, a tiny little bit of it.
So if
I have a very small...
What's your buy-in going to be?
I only have 3% of the business currently.
You only have 3% of the money it's going to take to buy the business, or you're slowly buying it piece by piece over time?
I own 3% of the business currently.
Okay.
And your boyfriend, what is his financial situation?
right now he's laid off because he's a seasonal worker, but when he does work, he makes more than I do.
Okay. I mean, we don't advise against prenups in situations where there is an inordinate amount of wealth that you're coming into with this very lucrative jewelry business. So it is something that you may want to look into. And it sounds like you guys are doing it, approaching it with the right spirit of you're going, hey, I'm not doing this because I'm nervous about marrying this guy. I'm doing it to protect us from crazy down the line. And that's the way you want to think about it.
And neither of us want to get one, but my parents do, and I'm just concerned.
Here's what I would recommend you do.
He's flat out said, like, I'm not getting one. And that's how I feel as well, but I don't know what to do.
I would sit down. This is going to be worth $500 or $1,000 to do this because of what's at stake here. I would sit down with an attorney in your local community and tell them what your dad has told you. Tell him what y'all want to do. Tell him what I told you, that this is less about him and more worried about something down the road. Your attorney, an attorney may advise you, well, he won't be an owner, you will, and he would have part of your estate. Like, so there may be all kinds of different ways involved here, okay, that may be able to avoid a prenup. I think you have to get past the idea that a prenup is y'all planning for your divorce or you're planning for your husband to screw you over. That's not what we're talking about here. Okay. One red flag for me is your husband already planting his feet in the ground against your dad. I'm not doing that. That attitude before you even walk down the aisle that's a red flag for me as someone who's just talked to a million different couples.
Sure.
That tells me he's more invested in his ego and his pride than in what's the best way I can honor my wife, what's the best way I can keep her and this business safe, and the best way we can be connected and unified as a family. And I have to look in the mirror and say, no, I got some crazy cousins, or I've got some crazy you know what I mean? Like, he's got to be able to do that and say, oh, okay, this actually protects you in the case I get hit by a bus.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
I never thought of it from that point of view.
So it's a much. I get what your dad's trying to protect his business and he's trying to love his daughter the best he can. I don't fault him for a second. I also don't fault him for being overly cautious and you having to say, "Hey, that's too cautious." I don't have any heartburn about you and your husband saying, "Dude, we really are not interested in signing a prenup. We're going into this thing together." I get that too. That's why I would get a third party who has no stake in any of the family stuff or the drama, and it's just going to give you wisdom particular to the business, to your situation, your state and local laws, all that kind of stuff. So that's where I would go. But think bigger. And again, I'm not for prenups. I don't like them at all. I don't like them at all. But there is a time and a place for them.
It's a good word. And with this situation, he is your boyfriend. And so unless we are really, like, we're about to get married, this is not a thing we have to deal with right now. I mean, we don't even know if he's going to propose, what this looks like down the line, but it's good to at least get some information from the lawyer going, hey, what does this look like on paper in a worst case scenario? What would actually happen? And that will give you some peace and confidence moving forward with it or not moving forward with it.
That's right.
Brought to you by YRefi. Refinance your defaulted private student loans today at yrefi.com/Ramsey.
Okay, so I'm calling because my ex-husband and I bought a townhouse for our children to live in during college, and then 4 months later I filed for divorce. Our divorce was final, but in the divorce they didn't split up the property because my oldest daughter was on the title and the mortgage. So then after that I had to get a real estate attorney, and we're now at the point where we have a legal agreement for my ex to refinance the property and get my name off the property, or if he doesn't do that by March 1st, then we sell it. But this is being contentious, and my issue is for my daughter. He's telling my daughter that she has to be on the refinance of the property, and I just want to give her the right information for her financial security for her life, if it's a good thing for her to be on the mortgage of this $600,000 property.
Is she in school?
She is a junior, and she also is a real estate agent, and she is making about $50,000 a year.
Yeah, that's not even in the same planet as a $600,000 mortgage. So, like,
I know.
if
she was artificially propped up with you and your ex paying the mortgage,
yeah, she shouldn't be on it.
Right.
Yeah, no. I don't know why she would be on this.
Right.
It's just like y'all are paying for her dorm room. It just happens to be not a dorm room. It happens to be a condo that you as the parents decided to buy for yourselves. And that's yeah. Because what's going to happen is he's going to get mad or something's going to happen. He's going to quit paying, and a 21-year-old college grad is going to have
gets foreclosed on.
$500,000 mortgage. Yeah, she's going to get foreclosed on. She can't afford that.
Yes, and that's what I thought, but he's citing to her and saying to her that we signed a legal agreement and that she has to be on the refinance.
She didn't sign anything, did she?
She didn't. My attorney said that, here it is, he said she is not a part of the settlement agreement, that her signature acknowledges that she's aware that it took place, but it doesn't bind her to any terms.
So whose name is on the deed and whose name is on the mortgage?
All three of ours.
Yikes.
So the greatest gift you could give this young woman is to sit down with your daughter and say, you need to go find yourself an apartment to live in and get out of this thing.
And I think she can afford her own apartment. I think she's at the stage in her life where that's what she can do and wants to do, but her younger brother and sister also want to live in this townhouse.
That's between them and their dad.
I know.
I would get out of this. It has not been a blessing so far. No. It's not going to be a blessing a year from now.
And by the way, why'd you file for divorce?
Financial reasons.
Because he's not a person of character?
Yes, because he does things like this to me constantly, and I've wasted a whole bunch of my personal money, so that's why I got out for financial things we kept getting into that me and my family had to pay to get us out of.
So we call that financial infidelity here.
Uh-huh.
And there's no reason to think he's going to suddenly start acting with character and integrity on these exact same matters with other people. He's just looking for the next victim. You left.
I agree. And we have this legal agreement that he has to refinance by March 1st, and December 15th, I got an email from a title company, and he's now wants to assume the mortgage, because I definitely know that he'll save a lot of money on the interest rate.
Yeah, but you have to get off. And this young child of yours needs to get off.
Can he even afford this? If he assumes the mortgage and it's just on him, he's just going to rent it out to a stranger off the street at market rent, or what? What's his plan?
Right. I don't know if he can actually qualify. I think that's why he needs our daughter to help.
Well, he can't force her into this.
Yeah, that's predatory. Tell your daughter, please don't do this.
I know, I tried, but it's, he's just very convincing. And he's had renters in and out, but can't keep renters in there. And there was even one time when there was a renter who was an ex-con, and he didn't do a background check, living with my two children.
I know, but listen, you're looping on something you've already made a decision on.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you just telling yourself the story again about one other time he screwed up and one other time he screwed up and one other time he screwed up is a choice for you to be miserable right here in the present. Don't do that anymore. What you can do is affect what happens tomorrow. And you can sit down with your daughter and say, this is a bad deal financially. You're going to be attached to a $600,000 mortgage. Your father, who you love and is your dad, I'm not going to talk bad about him, but facts are he is not skilled in financial matters. And so I'm going to tell you as your mother, please do not attach yourself to a $600,000 mortgage to somebody who, especially with somebody who is pressuring you to do something that you can't afford. This is not a mom and dad, this is a math problem.
And he's using her as a pawn in this scheme. Right. And if she chooses, knowing all of that, to still go through with this, that's on her to deal with.
That's right.
He's going to have to deal with it when he realizes a 21-year-old cannot help pay this mortgage.
And you can tell her, you're a grown-up, you can do what you want to do. I will be with you. You can call me when this thing goes sideways, and you can smile at her.
Yes,
or you could say you make 50 grand a year. Go get an apartment. I know you're the mom and you love her, and she's 20 now.
21 now.
21 now. So you're in that weird, awful bum / really awesome transition where you get to stop telling her what to do and you get to just sit down across from her at a diner and say, I'm going to try to use the power of influence. I love you, and here's what I would do. Or here's the things I've done, and it was wrong, and so here we are.
Yes. And that's exactly why I called you guys, because I didn't know what else to do. I've kind of tried those things, and her dad is very convincing, and she wants to help.
I got it.
She's a really good kid, but...
Well, she's a kid who's
don't know
grown
how to help her.
up being a people pleaser because she had to.
Yes. Yes.
And the only other thing I could tell you to do is to give her ask her just run the numbers with you.
Yes.
And this is not going to be the last time she bails dad out if she goes down this path. And she's going to learn the hard way, and it'll probably destroy their relationship long term. Mm-hmm. I don't see a world where this just ends up perfectly and they're all happy with what happened financially.
That's right.
I agree. Yeah.
And let me just say this, George, to all not to you, but to all the parents out there.
Yeah.
If you ever have to go tap the credit, pull a credit card out in your kid's name, sit them down and try to convince them to use their success, their wealth, as a pawn in some scheme you're running, you're a scumbag and you need to stop. It's your child. It's your kid. If you want to do stupid stuff with your money, if you want to do stupid stuff with your character, nobody can stop you. This is America and you're an adult unless you don't break the law. Don't drag your kids into this stuff just because you have an ego.
And
you
parents,
can destroy them with you.
Please don't watch some Instagram reel or TikTok where just buy a piece of property for your kid while they're in college. It's a wealth hack. Here's what happens on the other side of that. Relationships are broken.
There's no wealth hack here.
Don't do it. Let your kid just live with 7 roommates. That's how it should be in college. God bless.
Why Refi refinances delinquent private student loans for struggling borrowers. Learn more at yrefy.com/Ramsey. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
All right, Gabriella is up next in McAllen, Texas. Gabriella, what's going on?
Hi, guys. Thank you for taking my call. So my question is, my ex-boyfriend left me with an RV payment, and I do not want to pay it.
Oh, my gosh. So what happened? You guys...
So he took it to go work and could no longer afford the payment on it and left it to me last weekend and was like, here you go. Here's the RV with the payment.
What do you mean left it to you? Whose name is on the loan?
It is under my name. We were together for 10 years.
No.
I got it for him. He had to go work in the oil field. And we split up about a year ago, and he can't afford it anymore. So he brought it back to me, and I'm left with it.
Oh, no. Shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Gabrielle, you'll never do that again, will you?
I've learned my lesson.
Oh, no. You know, we talked to somebody earlier in the hour, and her boyfriend, well, fiance, they don't really have a date. I don't think a wedding date, we asked. But, yeah, both their names are on the deed of the house. And I just thought, oh, no.
So you're a great, I guess, poster child of what can happen when you sign on to debt and buy things with people you're not married to. And I'm so sorry. On top of the hurt from this long-term relationship being over.
And it was a year ago, though. So now you're like, well, crap. Now I gotta.
What's left on the RV loan, and what is it worth?
It is, the balance left is around $48,000. And looking it up, it's worth around $30,000.
So you're $18,000 underwater?
Basically, for some reason, they took, the prices in RVs were just expensive when I bought it and have dropped.
Well, that's been the theme on the show for the last week or month, is everyone is underwater on vehicles and things with wheels because it was really expensive and they had good intentions, and then the market turned and now everyone's underwater. So there's only 2 ways to go about this. Number 1 is you need to come up with the $18,000 in cash in order to sell it and pay off the loan. Or number 2, you go get a personal loan for the difference of that $18,000 to get out from under this. Do you have any money?
Yeah, I have around $10,000 in savings.
Good. And any other debt?
Yeah, well, yes, I have a mortgage. I pay my vehicle, but my vehicle is actually a lease. And I
hadn't learned my lesson at the time, but I have a bedroom set under my name that somebody else owes about $3,000 of that. Really no credit card debt.
Somebody else owes?
Yes, it's under my name, so technically I owe it, but
And are they paying? Are they paying on it, or you're?
Yes and no.
Oh gosh,
Sometimes.
is this family? Is it a friend that you like said, "Hey, I'll get"?
It's family. It's a family member.
Oh gosh, I think you need to stop being generous with money you don't have, Gabriella. That's what's been
I
happening.
know.
It's a theme in your life. You sound like such a sweet, wonderful person.
And now, how much do you make a year?
So this year I made. So I'm actually a nurse, and with COVID, I made really good money. 2022 kind of gone down some. So this year I made 133. But it will probably drop again this year because there's no more COVID crisis, so that's just how it works.
Not if I can help it. You're going to be out there busting your tail, overtime, doing Uber Eats and DoorDash and Instacart, whatever it takes. You're climbing out of this thing, and I think you're not scared of work, which is great. And we got to start with the smallest debt here, which it sounds like is this bedroom set.
Yeah,
I think you just pay it off, and if they ever pay you any more for it, great. You can apply that to
Don't
the next
expect
one.
it. Just
but don't wait
be done
around.
With it. Yeah, be done with it.
Okay. Even if it's zero interest, I should pay that one off first?
Especially if it's zero interest. All of it.
Okay.
We're done with payments. We're done with debt. You make too much, you're too successful, and you're too smart to ever do this stuff again, regardless of the interest rate. Does that track, Gabriella? Okay. Are you with us on this?
Yes.
We
I
are
am.
Team Gabriella, and so we want you to win. And that's going to mean you have, if you count up all your debt, and if you want to get out of the lease, you can look at the early buyout amount and see if that's going to be worth it for you to do now. Otherwise, you turn the car in, and then you need to go get another car. But don't just get another lease.
Okay.
It's the most expensive way to get a vehicle, and dealerships love it because they make the most money off of these leases.
Okay, so no more leasing.
No more leasing. Buy your next car with cash, which is going to be tough.
When is the lease up?
In about 2 more years.
Okay. Yeah, I would look at the early buyout. I would just kind of do some research in that. But then in the meantime, between now and 2 years, be saving some cash, knowing that you're going to have to replace this car. But I would take, this 10 grand, Gabriella, I would pay off the bedroom set. And then be looking at the 18 that you'll probably have to take a loan out for the remainder of that RV. After you sell it.
Okay. So I shouldn't give it back to the bank and then let them sell it and then me pay the difference?
You're saying to have the RV repossessed?
Yes.
I wouldn't do that.
No, I wouldn't do that because I would go on your credit. I would just find a private sale, list it, sell it yourself, get as much as you can for it, obviously. And then, you'll have to have a loan for the difference. And then you'll be working your way out of that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wish we had better news. The good news is you make great money. You make 6 figures. We've seen bigger, scarier numbers than this.
Yeah.
But it's the hurt and shame and guilt and baggage and, oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. You got to just pick yourself up and go, listen, that doesn't define me.
Yeah.
I'm going to make different decisions.
And
going
Gabriella,
forward.
is it just you? Are you single? Kids?
Yes, it's just me and my 2 girls.
Okay, so you do have 2 girls. Okay, how old are they?
I have a 9-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Okay, so sweet. That's so great. Okay, so what you're probably going to be doing, where you can work extra, and even if it's, at night online or something, like if there's like something that you can do to find that extra money. But with this 133, I would act like I would tighten everything up. And give yourself a goal to say, I'm going to act like I make $70,000 a year or whatever it is. And then find that difference to have an end point to say, okay, I could be completely debt free, be done with all of this and start fresh, not owing anyone anything and start this whole process. I'm like, that you could do this in 18 months, Gabriella. If you really focused and did this, the car lease, kind of hangs in the balance of what you decide there. But being able to have no payments and this income going to you and your girls and you guys keeping all of it, that's the goal we want for you. Have you been through Financial Peace University?
No.
Okay, so if you hold on the line, Skylar's going to pick up and we're going to gift that to you. as well as Every Dollar Premium, which is our budgeting app. And so what I want you to do, Gabrielle, is watch these lessons, even binge them. There's going to be 7 lessons, and I want you to go through and watch all of this and really get a game plan to say, okay, here is how I take control of my money. And what that's going to teach you is everything from budgeting to getting out of debt to saving up for an emergency fund to investing to your kids' college. I mean, it kind of runs the gamut of everything, and it's all packaged in there. And so to be able to walk through that and apply this stuff, Gabrielle, because what you've already witnessed and experienced is that money, it's personal finance, it's 80% behavior. It's only 20% head knowledge. You're going to watch these videos and be like, I knew that. I knew I shouldn't probably co-signed some furniture for a family member. I know that I probably, you know, you're going to get all that, but actually changing the behavior and doing it is going to be the key to you winning. And I believe in you. I know you can do this, Gabriella. We're cheering you on. So hold on the line. Skylar will pick up.
That's the theme of this hour. Don't spend money you don't have, especially with people you're not married to.
Create your free Every Dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.
Today's question comes from Marissa in New Mexico. Marissa writes, I introduced the baby steps to my ex-boyfriend. We were in an emotionally unhealthy relationship but decided to live together. We opened a joint emergency fund account and a joint checking account to pay our bills, and we both brought $10,000 to the emergency fund. He had no debt, but I owed $4,800 when we opened the checking account, so we paid that off. We broke up last week, and now he wants the money back. He's calling me a thief, a scammer, and is threatening to post on social that I used all his money. I'm afraid he will make me lose my job or go to my daughter's school to post signs saying that I'm a thief. I want to do the right thing, but it seems like since we paid the debt and we decided to join our incomes, I do not owe him anything even if we broke up 2 weeks after. What is your advice? Whew. So sometimes, Dave, people get tied up in these relationships and it gets real close, and someone's telling me a story, and I'll stop them and say, hey, that's harassment or that's abuse. And you watch the light bulb go on and they go, oh, right. And so I think there's something to be said. We can have the conversation about money, but if you are afraid that somebody is going to make you lose your job, if you're afraid that someone's going to go to your kid's school and harass them, embarrass you, then you need to call the authorities and get people involved in this conversation, because this is bigger than you. This is different than just a bad breakup. This is somebody you're afraid is going to actively try to seek to destroy your life. So there's my little discussion on that, Dave. All right, so help me with this question, Dave. What do you think?
Well, I grew up in a neighborhood where the first thing we learned was what you do with a bully is you hit them in the nose. You don't give them more power.
Right.
You take their power away immediately. And so that's my redneck reaction.
That's your new book.
That's
my
redneck
reaction.
Redneck reaction. That's it. Just pop them in the nose, and then they can stop and think about their mouth. Okay. But of course, we're not literally physically recommending that these days. But yeah, that happened in a different generation, and but it does set the DNA of something like this. So consequently, I still to this day I don't do a good job. I don't always use good wisdom when I'm dealing with a bully, because my first reaction is just game on, and that's not always the best reaction.
Yeah.
So that's what we're dealing with here. This guy's a bully.
That's right.
And so I don't want you to pay the $4,800, even if I thought you owed it right now, because your reason for doing it is fear, and that is not the right reason to do it. If you want to pay the $4,800, your reason for doing it needs to be on principle that you feel like, yeah,
I owe him that money.
I owe him that money because the way this deal went down, it's not right, and I should do it.
Right.
And I kind of think that's true.
Yep.
I kind of think you do owe him the money, but I don't want you to do it until your heart rate changes and drops down, because right now your heart's beating 1,000 miles a minute.
Because you're scared of somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
And he thinks, and I actually don't want him to think he got the money because of that either.
Because he bowed up on you.
Yeah.
And
it's
you
like,
took a knee and
he's
handed him the
he's
money.
going to threaten you, and
That's
so
right.
because then what's he going to threaten you for next time?
That's right.
And so, but so and the other part of this is the and you can speak to this better than I can, but we were in an emotionally unhealthy relationship, but we moved in together anyway. Which, you know what that tells me? It tells me you're going to go back.
Yeah, or you're going to find another emotionally unhealthy.
You're going to go back.
relationship.
You're going to go back to this guy if you're not careful. And so what I want for you is for him to never see you, speak to you, or have any voices in your head ever again.
Correct.
When this is done.
Right.
And the next time you see an unhealthy relationship, I want you to go, no, wait, I'm a princess. I'm valuable. And I'm so valuable that I don't need to be entering into an unhealthy relationship. Translation, I don't need to sleep with a bully.
All right. And so here's a couple things you can do. You can go to your boss ahead of time and say, hey, here's a good example. This actually happened, Dave, a year ago. Something back from my past came up, and I emailed you right away and said, hey, just so you know, everything's clear here. This came up. And I preemptively got ahead of this, right? I came and told you. It ended up being nothing. It ended up not being a thing. But I'd go to my boss and say, hey, I've got an out-of-control somebody.
Ex-boyfriend
who's going to
that
post a
maybe
bunch of
run his mouth,
nonsense.
and I don't know if he's going to see you or not, but just in case he did,
just know.
You
this
just
is
need
coming
to
from
know
me.
this guy's
That's
a
right.
bozo,
That's
and
right.
he'll come in looking like a clown, and you'll know he's a clown.
That's right. And
So, yeah.
same at the school. Hey, if this guy comes around, call 911, get him off your property.
Get the security guys out here and
That's right.
remove him and so forth. And just be on guard. And I've already let the authorities know, and I'm filing for a restraining order.
That's right.
Now, once you've done all that, then don't go back
and don't find another one to replace him.
Okay. So what do you? Anytime I do something stupid, I try to figure out what it was, so I don't do it again. If I'm going to do stupid stuff, it needs to be new stupid stuff. Okay,
that's your next book, New Stupid Stuff by Dave Ramsey.
We got a lot of books coming out today. Okay,
we're gonna
but
number one bestsellers everywhere.
Redneck Reaction and new stupid stuff. But
new
yeah,
stupid stuff.
But the thing is that I think there's a tremendous statistical probability that she cycles back if she doesn't break the mold on this.
That's right, and it feels like Marissa, you're trying to soft land this thing.
Yeah.
And you want to keep this guy in the relationship. You want to figure out how to keep your money, but not have to do. It's all about you're terrified.
I want you to stone cold this guy.
Yeah.
And give him the money back.
Block him on everything. Okay, so let's get into that. They got together.
Well, they shouldn't have done any of this.
None of it. Yeah, I read. I introduced him to your baby steps. I want to say, no, you didn't. You like a weird part of the baby steps.
Well, you made up your own plan where we can live together in an unhealthy relationship and then combine our money when we're not married. That we have never told anybody anything except never do that
because of this.
Because of this right here.
This moment.
This is what happens when you shack up with people you aren't married to and you play house. Because you want to wear the shoes for a week before you actually buy them.
So I've got no debt. I owe $4,800. They paid it. He paid it off.
Well,
technically,
I think they both put $10,000 in there, so there's $20,000 in there, and then they paid off $4,800 out of that. Right. Sounds like
maybe she splits it.
He needs to get his $10,000 back total, and it's probably down by something.
Walk away.
Yeah, and then but kiddo, love yourself enough. Put the stiff arm on the bozo permanently.
Block him on everything.
And anybody that even smells like him ever again. Oh, wait a minute. That I smell bozo. No. Walk away. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I'm dealing with some family law issues, and it's kind of taken over half of every one of my paychecks. And I'm kind of dealing with a dilemma where I'm trying to find the balance between trying to do what's right for my kids and be financially responsible at the same time.
Can you elaborate a little bit? What are you going through?
I had a son when I was 22, still in college, and I later divorced my wife that I had that son with.
Okay.
Then shortly before I graduated, I had a girlfriend and we got pregnant. She disappeared on me while we were pregnant.
Okay.
And shortly after right before, as I was about to graduate, every month I was having to spend several $100s towards attorney's fees to get,
to try to find her?
That, yes, originally.
Okay. So you found her, then what happened?
So then around a couple months before I graduated, both of these custody disputes kind of started being simultaneous and in tandem.
Okay.
So my ex-wife, we had 50-50. When we divorced, I was seeing my son every week for the whole week, and I had him, and then we would trade off like that. She and the ex-girlfriend, they became buddies, and they just both started. I've never met my daughter that I have with the ex-girlfriend, and my son I haven't seen in over a year. So this isn't any petty dispute over, who gets the teddy bear that he liked when we divorced, and then, whose house does that stay at. It's like, if I don't spend all this money on these attorneys, foreseeably I won't see my kids at all.
Can I ask
but at
you
the same time,
Can I ask you a question? And just be honest, as much as you're willing to be. Do they have a reason that they're keeping these kids from you?
No.
Is there a real reason there? Like, were you an alcoholic? Was there something there?
No drugs, no alcohol, no abuse. The second ex has tried to throw out abuse allegations, but it's that's
so there's allegations. There are allegations, but you're saying they're not true.
Right.
Got it. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you make?
I make $78.
How old are you?
I just turned 30 in January.
And this dispute, the legal bills have been going on 1 year.
I would say they've been going on since about summer of 2021, and they've only kind of increased and gotten worse.
Okay. I'm confused as to why the judge hasn't ruled on this in 4.5 years.
With my son, we had a totally
I know, you told me that.
Divorce.
You told us that. So why, if it's been going on since 21, that she's been reneging on what the divorce decree said, why has a judge not ruled on it in 4 years?
Well, it's different judges in different states. With my daughter's case...
No. Back to your son. Let's just stick with that.
My son. Yeah, sure. Okay. So with my son, it's a very small town in Oklahoma, and I guess the court's docket just gets really backed up. Last year, I was supposed to have my son for spring break. She texted me the night before, said she wasn't going to give him to me. And so I filed something immediately. I got a lawyer. We showed up to a hearing in May of last year, and they kind of ran the clock on that hearing to where we weren't really done with it. It was 5:30, and the judge said, y'all go home. We'll schedule for another date. That, because we've run out of time, that got scheduled out until late summer last year, like into August. And then my attorney I had died.
Oh.
And now I've got a different attorney, and I've got something scheduled for middle of April.
And you're trying for 50-50. That's all you want, 50-50.
On the original child. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
I'm at a
the
point where I'm
overall
just trying to see
answer
him.
to your question is this is not only consuming your money, it's consuming your brain.
Mm-hmm.
And so and you have relied on legal counsel that sucked. So you need to get a lawyer that is much smarter and much meaner than the lawyer that you've had. It's way past time playing nice here. And so we need to make an example out of these people. I'm going to start filing with social services. I'm going to file 60 different ways. I'm going to make all of these people's lives miserable so we can put an end to this. And so you guys have been trying to play real sweet and real nice, and your lawyer was old and then he died, and he was playing nice with the small town judge instead of just going in there and raising hell. And so you need an attorney that you don't even like. That kind of mean attorney, okay? And that's so smart, and they're a little more expensive usually, but they're worth it. So, and try to bring it to a head. That's the only answer I know for you. Mm-hmm. But just talking to you for 4 minutes is exhausting, listening to what you've been through. And it's so chaotic. It's all over the place. It's left, right, turn, flip, back flip, double flip, turn right, turn left, turn back. There's all these different moving parts. And it just takes up, you're burning all your calories on these issues. And so, you got to spend the right amount of money in a short period of time and blow everything up. Or you've got to turn and talk about, what's the right thing to do. I tried to be in my son's life. I tried to be in this child that was born outside of wedlock's life. I tried to do that, and instead what I got is crazy women. And so, I don't know. I can't tell you. You're going to have to measure how far into this you go. But I can tell that there's no systematic anything in your description of this. And that tells me that you're getting the runaround rather than giving the runaround. And so in a lawsuit situation, sometimes the best defense is a good offense. And so I want you to file I want attorneys filing 7 motions every morning just to piss everybody off, including the judge. I'm just going to screw with people for a living for a short period of time, and just knock the snot out of everyone to where they're all back on their heels and they're all burning calories trying to keep up with you instead of the other way around. It's your only shot here, or you need to flip and just walk and let the thing die. And then they'll come wandering in, maybe wanting child support. Oh, wait, maybe now we get a hearing. Okay, interesting. Money's tied to this. So I don't know, Tanner. I can't tell what's going on. I can just tell that you're worn out and that you've been getting the runaround rather than giving the runaround. I can feel that, and that's where all your money's going. Because the legal system is not a just system, and it is not a good system. It sucks, and it will drain you dry. So I pray good luck for you, sir, but I think it's going to require some pretty aggressive moves beyond what you've been doing. Create your free Every Dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today. My brother-in-law recently died in his sleep, and my sister had passed away in 2019. When their children met with the insurance company, they found out my oldest son and I were named as beneficiaries. I think this may have been an oversight because the children were minors when they got the policy. They still will get an IRA, a house, a car, etc. The kids are pressuring me to sign over their money. It would help to hear from someone not close to the situation. What should I do? Well, I think you need to make a decision of, was this an oversight? If it was left to you to take care of them when they were minors and they're no longer minors, and he hadn't been diligent with his estate plan and fixed his beneficiaries, then you are saying you accidentally did get money that was intended for them. If that's the case, I would give it to them. If on the other hand, that's what it sounds like, but if there's another scenario that's like, okay, he wanted to leave us some money and he used the policy to do that, and he very clearly intended to do that, and they just feel like they're entitled to it just because it was their dad and mom, but dad and mom had a very, very clear intent to leave it to us, then they're just up a creek. You're not entitled to anything because you're kin. It's not their money. But if you truly do believe what you said, that you think it's an oversight, then on a moral basis, I'd give it to them.
Or option 3, maybe these kids are hurting. Obviously, they've been through a lot the last few years, but if they're running to their aunt saying, give us our money, maybe there was some anticipated immaturity, and we want you to do what's right with this money that's best going to love these kids. Maybe not, but man.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think you need to decide what your brother-in-law and your sister's intent was. Legally, you can keep the money. It's not their money. Legally, it's your money, period. No question. Nobody's going to argue that. No court's even going to look at this. They'll dismiss it in 30 seconds, okay? It's your money. It's in your hands. If you think that it was a mistake, it was an envelope mailed to the wrong address, and you do feel like it's rightfully theirs, then I would give it to them. Just would. That's what I would do in that situation you're asking. Again, though, if you on John's point, option 3 is the parents felt like the kids were too immature to handle this money, and we don't even know how much it is. You didn't tell us. Life insurance money, so I'm guessing it's north of $100,000. But the parents left it to you because they thought the kids were going to mess it up. They should have left it into a trust instead, but they didn't. They left it to you and left you in an awkward position. Then you can handle it like you think they want it handled, which would be to dole it out slowly to the kids, like they might have done if it was left in a trust. That's a good point, John. You could do that. Let's see here. I think this might have been an oversight because the children were minors when they took out the policy. That's what I'm going on.
Right. But I'm just thinking of my family members, and if I have a niece and a nephew, one of which is doing great, one of which is really struggling, and then I know that my brother or sister, were they alive, would treat this differently, and they gave me the money, I'm just thinking out loud here, but maybe I might say, no, for tuition, yeah, but not for your,
and I'm not going to
not for your life challenges. Yeah,
I'm going to take you. I'm going to take care of you like they would have.
There you go.
And I'm going to love you well.
And you may not like that.
Yeah,
but
if you don't like it, I don't care. It's not. You're not in control here. I'm in control. It's in my control to do whatever. But you can decide what was the. What I would go with is what your brother-in-law and your sister's intent was. If you think you can anticipate that, was it to take care of this and manage it for these immature adults, or was it just they screwed up and never made the beneficiary change? Yeah. That's simple. And I don't know. I can't. You said in your email that you thought it was an oversight, and so that's what I'm going on. So, guys, this is why you go to mama.bearlegalforms.com and you get a will. And by the way, when you die, the state that you're living in will do the probate, not the last state you lived in when you did your will at the other state. So when you move to a different state, when you go through a major life change, you need to update your will. When the kids grow up, you need to update your life insurance policy and change the beneficiary. And you've got to keep up with this stuff. And so, this is what rich people do. They take care of the money so the lawyers don't get it in some argument about something because they take care of business. And so I'm sad for the loss of your brother-in-law and your sister. I'm sorry for that. But their job was to not have this mess. Your job is to not have this mess, people. Your job is to get a will in the state that you live in the family situation that you're in. So as soon as your spouse passes away, you need a new will in the state that you live in. As soon as you move or you get a divorce or the kids grow up, we had one set of estate plan before when our kids were minors. When they were no longer minors, we changed the estate plan and had a new will done. And so go to Mama Bear Legal Forms, go to your estate planning attorney and get this stuff done. This is how families end up not speaking to each other. My aunt ripped me off. She took all that money that Mama gave accidentally because Mama didn't fix it. And a bunch of freaking rednecks, I can hear it now. I've grown up with them my whole life, and shut up. It's just white trash. Shut up. Don't be arguing about money. Love your family. Take care of your family. And if you're going to cut somebody out of the will, tell them while you're alive. Let them be pissed off at you while you're walking the earth. Don't leave it on somebody else to get pissed off at. So, mad at my aunt because she executed the will exactly as it was supposed to be executed and was written. And she's the executor of the estate, which, by the way, means execute. That's what it means. You have to do what the will says. And the will says you didn't get any money, so you're mad at your aunt. That's dumb. You can be mad at your mama is what you need to be mad at. She's dead, but she's the one screwed you out, not your aunt. Your aunt has to do exactly the way it is. So you folks, if you're going to do that stuff, do it while you're alive. We have a full-on estate planning meeting that goes 2 hours every year. Basically, if Dave dies this year, this is what it looks like. It's all laid out for the whole company. Leadership, publicity plan, traffic control, everything. It's all discussed. It's ridiculous because I love my family so much that I don't want them in a situation like that to have to deal with crap that I was supposed to deal with when I was alive. That's called doing a will. Did I get fired up about that?
No, I'm kind of waiting to hear what you really think about the whole thing. And just so people know this is not academic, I had an opportunity to get a will done by one of the great wills and trust professors in the country, Jerry Beyer. Walked me through it, did my whole thing in Texas, and then I moved. And one of the first things we did when we got to Tennessee was Mama Bear Wills, and we did a will there. And it's not going to do my whole estate plan, all that, but I had to have something on paper
that is valid in that state
because I'm a responsible parent in that state.
Estate planning is state law. Probate law is state law. It's not federal law. And so Louisiana law is way different. It's French-based. California is way different. It's granola-based. I'm telling you, the laws in these states are dramatically different. So you need to do a will in the state you live in right now. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.